we can open, baby.
Yo, welcome to the screen where the plot gets bent. Julie B deep dives, not just for content. She don't react, she dissects those threads from the lens, catching clues y'all missed when the credits end. What you know about freeze framing frames and while you blinking, she building an evidence drum. Got a notebook thicker than the lore itself, and a chat full of nerds with a mental health shelf. Yeah, she sees the glitch, peep the double cross. You just watching TV, she talk to the boss. Every theory and thesis, no throwaway guess. While y'all on season 1, she in season X. Said rewind and slow it, zoom in and enhance. Julie B caught the symbol in the window glance. While you tweeting what just happened like a clown, she already made a flow chart, color-coded breakdown.
They don't die like us, they don't vibe like us. They binge and they bounce, we revive that trust. They skip intros, we every frame. You watch shows, we decode the game. They don't die like us, nah, they don't die like us.
She cracked Severance before y'all knew it was deep. Predicted the Last of Us depths in her sleep. When the camera pans, she ain't blinking once. Catch a ghost in the glass, call it theory punch. Watch parties lit like apocalypse nights. Call-ins while they bringing alien rights.
Hey, Julie, I think the trees are spies. Well, I have a spreadsheet that confirms that, guys.
Zoom in, boom in, she moving through clues. Spinning Discord in the courtrooms, Lord of views. Got mods with receipts. Time stands with heat. Every rewatch turns into a Reddit elite. You stuck on the surface, we beneath with maps. Cross-referencing lore with the rector's caps. If your fave show got secrets, don't be dumb. Julie got the chalkboard out in From's where it's from.
They don't dive like us, they don't vibe like us. They skim the edge, we inside that crust. They zone out, we zone in the pain. You say plot twist, we say nope, chain. They don't dive like us, nah, they don't dive like us.
What's that?
That ain't a blooper, that's a plot thread. You thought it was a shadow? She thought it was a coded message from season 3. And she's probably right. Step this way if your mind's unbent. Step that way if your theories pay rent. Say Julie B, deep dive queen. Now zoom, scroll, theorize, pull. Ain't no rabbit hole safe once she got the clout.
They don't die like us.
Hey there, it is Julie B Deep Dives, and the first installment of our Welcome to Derry Deep Dive Live. I think I need to switch backgrounds because this one isn't going to work with just me on stage. Although Carl is going to be on stage with me soon, and then it'll be creepy as hell. You'll see. Because right now my avatar is covering up Pennywise, who's in the center of the background. I'm probably going to wind up switching to something different later anyway, because this one looks a little demonic to be staring at all the time. But it was all I could get at the last minute. I was just like, oh no, I do this every time I cover a new show. At the last minute, I think, oh no, I don't have a background for this. I have nothing. Like, oh no, I can't just have a generic background. I gotta have something related to the show I'm covering. And then I usually find something very fitting at the last minute. I found like the perfect thing for Severance. I found the perfect thing for a couple different shows last minute. But this one is creepy as hell. Once you see Pennywise, it's a very creepy picture. But right now it just kind of looks like I'm in hell here. Okay. I'll add Carl here. Now see, that looks better. Now that looks it looks better, but it's really creepy. And it's like nightmare fuel for you guys. You get to stare at this and then go to bed.
Now we're
Have
both
sweet
enough.
nightmares. Um, yeah, so yeah, this is like one of the pieces of press art that they released. I think either that or wait a minute, is this might be a screenshot I took from the little this season on Welcome to Derry featurette that they had. Yeah, I think it is. No, I think this is a screenshot that I took not not a press photo. They had a little featurette in case you missed it. Yeah, I missed it the first time I was watching it, but there's a press featurette at the end of every episode. So watch to the end of the credits because there's a little featurette where they do interviews with the cast and the crew, and they had a this season on Welcome to Derry little preview, and it showed all of this stuff, including Pennywise there, and I screen grabbed that. So you're welcome for the nightmares in advance. Uh, so, anyway,
I think a lot of the HBO shows usually have a featurette. That's what they've been doing lately.
yeah,
And
yeah,
but you gotta watch out because sometimes they give away the whole show in that. So
yeah, sometimes they give away too much.
mystery wise, you know.
Yeah, I don't like when there seem to be almost intentional spoilers now in some of these featurettes and some of these
Some
previews.
of these trailers are, you know what I mean? Is the whole movie's in the trailer.
Yeah, I don't like that. I like some kind of mystery. Amy said, "Hey Carl, what kind of train eats the most?"
Kind of what?
What kind of train eats the most?
I I don't know. Freight train? I got no idea.
A choo-choo train.
Oh,
That's
but
cute.
bump.
That's cute, Amy.
I'll be here all week. Try the veal. Tip your waitress.
That's cute. Um, let me scroll up to the top and say hi to you guys properly. And I appreciate those of you who came back after I had to reschedule the live from last night to tonight. I kept pushing it back and pushing it back later and later last night, and I just was in so much pain. I couldn't bring myself to get out of bed. So I'm sorry about that. Sorry about the confusion, and ultimately it just got so late and my pain was still not any better, so I just had to call it a night and push it to tonight. And so that's what I did, and I appreciate those of you who showed up last night. Thank you. And thank you for coming back. And when hanging around, even though it's 12:28 a.m. on the East Coast now, and I'm not used to this. I'm on Central Time now. It's only 11:30 for me here in Central Time, and I'm gonna try to start doing lives earlier for me because I know a lot of you guys are on the East Coast, and this is really late for you. So I'm gonna work on that. It's gonna be an adjustment. So anyway, yeah, so thank you to everybody who was here last night and for coming back. Like Kelly, I saw Kelly was in the chat. Some of the messages disappeared. I didn't delete them. I don't know what happened. Sometimes when you reschedule a live, all the old chat messages just go away. So all you can see at the top of the chat was my message, sorry about last night, blah blah blah. And then Kelly here was so kind saying, I'll show up whenever it is. Hope the pain has eased up for you, which was very sweet of her. And thank you, Kelly, for that. And Scarlett was also in here saying, hope you're feeling better. And thank you, Scarlett, for that. I think she's tied up right now on another live stream, but I appreciate that, the well wishes. Um, and Samuel said, Jays won tonight, sports fans. Oh, wait, really? One more win and they win the World Series? Really? Wait, the Blue Jays? I didn't know they were doing that well. Did they really?
Don't
I
worry, the
thought that it was.
Dodgers. The Dodgers will come back, guys. Don't worry.
Oh my God. I did not know that. Shit. I thought the Dodgers were doing better than this. Oh, oh, wow. Yeah. For Kings. I mean, uh, and Samuel said. says Kelly helped win. Oh, the blue Samuel said, I'm a Mariners fan. Oh, okay.
Oh, chop. Uh, oh,
I
it's
don't know why.
crazy.
I left right now, chop. Um, it's weird. Oh, I'm making switching to Chromebook. Let's see. Uh, I mean, this is actually a better option for better sound. Mike is chopping out. Okay, it's choppy. All right. Um, all right. Let me switch. I'll switch to my Chromebook and see if that's any better. Let's try the Chromebook. This was supposed to work better, but well, I guess not. It got better.
Yeah, it just got better.
Okay.
So I'll maybe give it another minute, and I'll let you know as I'm over there. I'll keep listening.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, good. All right, you guys said it's fixed too now. All right. Thanks, Samuel. Thanks, Brandon. All right. Yeah, let me know if it gets choppy again. Okay, let me scroll back up. Um, yeah, Carl is originally from Southern California, so obviously he's a Dodgers fan. He's more into football than baseball, but he's a Dodgers fan. So, yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Sarah, hey, nice to see you. Hi, Sarah. And I saw you were here last night too. So thank you for coming back. And Amy was here, and Doc was here, and you were here, and you were here, and you were here. Sound like the Wizard of Oz. But yeah, thank you guys for coming back. And this is not going to be a crazy long marathon live tonight. I know we're starting pretty late. I have to get up early in the morning, and I need to, for my own health and my pain management, I need to make these not marathon lives anyway. So this won't be crazy long. If I can get through the chat here and then get started with the breakdown, it'll just be a normal live. Hands up virtual popcorn. Yeah. Um, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna just catch up with you guys now. Um, are we in Derry now? Yeah. This looks like we're in the underworld now. We've descended into hell with Pennywise, thanks to my horrific background here. Um, yeah, Samuel said, "I want to see Maturin, Pennywise lore, and Dick." Yeah, Maturin the turtle is from the It book, and he's the creative force in the universe at the beginning of time or something, and the destructive force was it. And then and so the turtle is the force for good, and trying to kind of counteract the destructive force of it, and so he has a protective quality to him. We haven't seen any of Maturin in the movies or in the miniseries, but we have had little Easter egg nods to him with turtles popping up in both the movies and the show. There was a turtle charm on a bracelet that the main character was wearing, and there was, of course, the duck and cover turtle mascot for the high school. So that's a little nod to Mature and the Turtle. Who knows? Maybe they'll incorporate some of that into the actual show. You never know. Maybe it won't just be turtle Easter eggs. That would be interesting. And Pennywise lore, oh yeah, I'm all for the Pennywise lore. Like let's get deeper into it than the movies or the miniseries ever could, because we're in a TV series now. This has a lot longer of a runtime, so they can dive deeper. And I love the deep dives. They can dive deeper into the Pennywise lore from the book than any movie ever could or any miniseries ever could. So I am all for that too. I'm actually listening to the audiobook now for the first time, just as research, and it's really interesting stuff. I'm also listening to a YouTube video that gives you the whole history of Pennywise, according to the book. It's a little compilation of his whole history, going back like Well, according to the book, I think he's been around for like a billion years or something like that. In the movies and in the show, it's not a billion years. I think it's a few hundred years, but still, interesting stuff. And Dick, I had no idea until I looked into this a little further today doing research that the character who is driving the truck, the military truck in the first episode is the same dude who had the shine in the Shining, who came and rescued I forget what the little boy's name is now, and his mom from The Shining. He's the same dude. I had no idea that he was a character in both the It book and The Shining. And
I think his name was Danny.
Danny, that's it. His name is, yeah, he saved Danny and his mom. And this is a young version of him when he was living in Derry in the military. And I think he'll wind up, he keeps giving these knowing looks to the guy who's actually the grandfather of oh, what's his name? Mike in the movies. The little boy Mike who lived on the farm. I don't remember his last name now. Um but anyway, his grandfather is the new military officer who shows up on base and encounters racism, and like this guy who's driving the truck keeps shooting him these knowing looks, and now I understand why. Now that I know who he is, he's got some kind of he knows that some shit's about to go down. He has the shine. He must know. He must sense that there's something really wrong with Derry, and his powers will probably be a huge asset this season to saving somebody from Pennywise. Ultimately, I think he'll definitely be using his powers for good. So that was really interesting to me because I'm a huge fan of The Shining. I love The Shining, so that was so cool to find that out. There were all kinds of little Easter eggs and surprises in this show and crossover tidbits for fans of Stephen King, little crossover details. Really interesting stuff. Yeah, Halloran. Yeah, I think that's his last name. Absolutely. And more of the black spot fire. Yes, we're gonna get that. I'm sure we're gonna get that in the movies. Which this series is in the same universe as the movies, which I loved, by the way. The movies, chapter one and chapter two, they referenced the black spot fire, and they said it happened in 1962. That's when this series takes place. That they said that basically like 1962 was another main cycle of another cycle of destruction. Every 27 to 30 years, there's another cycle of destruction. And the Black Spot Fire was one of the disasters that ensued from this. And the Black Spot, I believe, was a bar frequented by Black service members who wanted to get away from the racism of their peers in the military there around Derry. And we see some of that racism right here in this very first episode when a man refuses to salute this new officer who shows up because he's black. And the black spot is where they go hang out, these guys, these men of color. And so yeah, there's going to be some sort of fire that's alluded to when the kids are researching the history of Derry in the movies. And yeah, so I think what will end up happening is the man with the shine, Dick, will help save some people in that fire and or from the fire. Hey there, Brendan K. Nice to see you. Just finished episode one, trying to process that monster. Yeah, that monster was crazy. That monster that you're referring to is what is it? The mutated baby. So it's like it's a mutated baby. Let me start pulling up my pictures so I can like go over what we're actually talking about here. But back in the 1950s and early 60s, there were a lot of fears related to nuclear power. Nuclear power was still relatively new. It had just been used for the first time in 1945 with the bombing of Japan. Um, and then with the Cold War happening and the nuclear arms race, there were a lot of fears regarding, what could be the effects of nuclear radiation. And one of them is, one of them was mutated children. What if radiation causes a lot of mutated babies? And so we know that it feeds on fear, and it manifests people's fears to prey on people. And this makes people more delicious to it when it does manage to take their lives and consume them. And so what better way to dredge up people's fears and manifest them you know, than to appear in the form of this mutated baby instead of a clown in this instance. We didn't see Pennywise in the form of a clown in episode 1, but that doesn't mean we didn't see it. This is it. This is it right here. This is just a different manifestation of it, the monster, the creature from outer space. It's not just a clown. The clown is just his most popular guise that he uses to fool children. But he comes in countless forms. He's a shapeshifter. And so this was it. We got to see it in the very first episode and this is one of his many forms. And this is very apropos to the early 1960s Cold War fears regarding nuclear radiation. And yeah, look at this horrifying looking thing. And there's like an extra head. There's like so there's the one head, there's another head, there's like a bat wing or something on one side. It's disgusting. And I gotta admit, when I on the first watch, I was kind of taken off guard by it. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting to see the clown that we're used to, but then I remembered, no, it comes in many, many forms, and just because we didn't see the clown yet doesn't mean we're not going to. This was just another version of it, and a very fitting version for the time period that we're going to be inhabiting in this show. So, let's see. Samuel said that joke reminded me of Poo Poo Point from an old stream. Trains don't go poo poo. They knew what they were doing with that name. Okay. Um, hey Trace, nice to see you. Let's see.
Those Trace.
Okay. Um, let's see. Oh, hey. Hey, I haven't seen you before unless you had a different name before and YouTube is messing with us because now everybody has as an at symbol and then whatever your handle is normally has disappeared and basically the handle behind your main handle is what we are seeing and not everybody has the same one. So like dot kaiju's is the same. Well, I think it's supposed to dot kaiju labs, but now it's at .kaiju. And yeah, so it's like it's confusing people, this new format for the display names on YouTube. But I haven't seen you before, Jump and Slash. Welcome. Um, Danny and Wendy. Yes, Danny and Wendy were the names I was reaching for from The Shining. Thank you. Yes. Dick saved Danny and Wendy. That's right. Um, yeah, he has the shine and can see its true form. Indeed. Indeed. Doc said the show is decent so far. I give the episode a 7. Yeah, I think I would agree with you, Doc. I think I would agree with you. I'm not jumping up and down thrilled with it yet, but I'm giving it a chance. I was hoping to be a little more excited by it out of the gate, and I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed that they introduced characters I really liked all of a sudden, and then they killed them all of a sudden by the end of the first episode. And the kid who I liked the most was the one who was obsessed with aliens, and they just killed him off already. Like, it gave me whiplash how fast that happened. I understand why they did it, but it annoyed me. And that's why I don't know. I can't give it more than a 7 just yet. We'll see how the rest of the characters do. And if they really impress me and we can recover from the loss of the characters they already got rid of, then we'll see. I know what they were doing. I get it. They were trying to subvert expectations because it looked like they were trying to assemble another losers club. And here we have another group of kids with similar kind of humorous personalities to the ones we knew in the movies, and especially the kid who was obsessed with aliens. He talked really fast, he was funny, and it's kind of what you expect from a new losers club. And he had his nerdy friend, and then what happens? They kill off three of them, boom, right away. Four, technically, if you count Maddie, who died in the very beginning, and you never saw him with the others, but yeah. Um, so it sucks. I mean, I know what they were doing because they didn't want it to be predictable. And the whole idea behind it is this. I had to think about this for a while, and I do understand now why they did it. The idea behind it is no one is safe. No one is safe in this show. This is not the it that you're used to. This is not like the movies. This is not the miniseries. In the miniseries and in the movies, you knew that the Losers Club were going to live no matter what because you saw them as adults. So, you knew at the very least that they were going to live to adulthood, because you saw each and every one of them as adults. And some of them wound up dying as adults. Spoiler alert, but they did. Two of them in the It movies wound up dying as adults, but at least you knew that they were going to make it out alive as children. Not so with this prequel. Nobody is safe. And that ups the stakes. They're trying to up the stakes, and I get what they're doing. They're trying to show us, like, hey, don't get attached to anybody. Nobody is safe. This is going to keep you on the edge of your seat. This is higher stakes horror than what you're used to with it. Because, yeah, any of these kids are fair game. Any of them could get taken out at any time. So I get it. I get why they're doing it. But I was frustrated because they happened to take out my favorite kid really fast. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm not giving up on it or anything like that. I just was frustrated. Hey, Shadow Skulk. Hi, beautiful peoples. Hi, nice to see you. Hey, Bill Chill. Greetings, Pennywisers. Yeah, we don't really have a name for our little group here when we're in this fandom for the It franchise. So yeah, maybe Pennywisers. Something that could work. Bill, yeah. Does it run from Bill, Doc? Well, yeah, maybe there could be a crossover thing there. It could be behind the whole thing, pulling the strings. You never know. Um, it manifests what the kids are scared of. Yes, indeed. And what everyone is scared of, but especially children, because children have the most vivid imaginations. So they're the favorite prey of Pennywise. Fear salts the meat. Yes, Samuel. That's ooh. Is that a quote from the book? Because that's creepy. I wouldn't be surprised. Hi, Derriers. Oh, that's funny, Bill. You're trying out other names. Hey, that could work. That's really funny. I like that. So something's gonna stick. Yeah, yeah, because it sounds like Derriers. Yeah, indeed. Um, Jumpin' Slash said, I've been around for some of the From streams. Oh, okay, cool. Well, welcome back. Glad to see you. Awesome. We're going to keep doing more From streams. If you're hungry for From, we are going to be getting back to a lot more of those. We're going to be resuming From Academy on Friday with Doc. It's going to be a little bit later. It's going to be around 1 a.m. instead of 12:30 a.m. A little bit later than normal, and it'll be a Halloween special version of From Academy, and kind of an occult theme that Doc came up with. So we're starting that. We're doing that Friday, and starting Friday, it's going to be back weekly again from Academy Fridays, and also we are going to be resuming the From Rewatch soon because I realized time's ticking. We have a tight calendar here, and the new season of From may come as soon as February. We don't have anything confirmed, but we need about 15 weeks to finish our rewatch. We stopped it last spring when we got kind of busy with other things, and we're halfway through season 2 right now. So we need to get on it. So what I'm thinking is we'll resume it. We'll do some story time with Doug lives, and then we'll start alternating weeks. Like one week we'll do a story time with Doug, another week we'll do from Rewatch, and back and forth. So maybe around sometime in November we'll start doing that and getting back into the rewatch so that we can be ready for season 4 when it comes. And anyway, that's cool. Okay, Doc said Jump and Slash was here for from season 3 theories and predictions. Awesome. Very cool. And yeah, we're gonna be of course covering season 4 from like crazy when it comes out. So you'll want to be here for that because nobody is more obsessed than us over here. Shout of Skulk said, I'm glad the end of the first episode, the end of the first episode the way they did. I think it gives the series more promise because it shows how brutal it is. Yeah, it definitely does. It shows the stakes are very high, and this is as brutal as it gets. I mean, he took out 3 more kids. 4 kids died over the course of one episode, and one of them was a really young girl. So nobody is safe. They made that clear. So yeah, this is going to be an intense series for sure. Anyway, is the show named after Derry, New Hampshire? Hey, Faith and Repentance, nice to see you. Um, I don't know. There's a Derry, New Hampshire. I didn't know that. Well, I know Stephen King made up his own town in Maine called Derry that he used in multiple books. So this is his own, I believe this is just his own made up name. Like I don't think he picked Derry, New Hampshire on purpose, like to name this after that. I think he just I don't know why he picked that name, but I do know that he used it in multiple books. And it's not a real town in Maine, of course. Um, 7 is a pretty fair rating and hope it gets better. Yeah, I agree with that too, Jump. I agree. Shadow says it's closer to the book. It's going to be more loyal to the book. It is brutal and hunts and devours and takes joy in the pandemonium, fear, heartache, etc. it creates. Yeah, and it's not going to be a happy ending like we're used to. We're used to all the kids surviving, and that's not going to happen this time. Well, I mean, okay, not all the kids survived. Obviously, little Georgie gets his arm bitten off in the beginning of the first movie, but the Losers Club, they all survive. At least they survive childhood anyway. And we don't lose 2 of them until they're adults. Stan, and then later Eddie. I was so upset they killed off Eddie. He was my favorite, but he didn't go till he was an adult. So, um, yeah, it is brutal, and like it literally it is brutal. So, uh, yeah, I think that it will be closer to the book, definitely, and because like in the book. It goes into all kinds of horrible things that happen in town, other than just the losers club who got off pretty easy, to be honest. Those kids, they at least got to grow up and lead lives away from this place. And yeah, 2 of them didn't make it to old age, but they got off pretty easy compared to the kids that we're going to see in this cycle. Every season is going to be dark like this. Just strap in and prepare yourself because it's going to be dark. And they do have 3 seasons planned, in case any of you guys didn't know. They are planning 3 seasons already, and it's going to be 3 different cycles. 3 different cycles of destruction. They're going to go back around 27 to 30 years each time. And so, like, the next one will be, I think, sometime in the 1930s. And then the one before that, I mean, season 3 will be, I think, 1908. So they're going to cover all previous cycles that were alluded to in or at least a bunch of previous cycles that were alluded to in the movie, which is really it's going to be really interesting to see more of the lore and the history of Derry, but it's also going to be very dark. No happy endings for these people. I'm sure at least some of them will make it out alive. It's not going to be like a total bloodbath, but oops. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot darker. Oh, hi, Dieter. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Oh, and Shadow Skulk says it's awesome that the second episode of Welcome to Derry is coming early too. Yes, and I'm going to be streaming it live when it drops. So, yeah, it's going to be streaming at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, 2 a.m. Central. So, haha, for me, I am in Central Time Zone now, so I get it a little bit earlier. I don't have to stay up quite as late. I'm trying to like not stay up all night anymore, like believe it or not. And so anyway, I'm gonna stream it in the Discord. So if anybody wants to watch it, I'm gonna stream it when it drops. So 2 a.m. for me, Central Time, 3 a.m. on the East Coast. It's gonna drop. So this is gonna be Thursday night into Friday. So technically it will be on the 31st, Friday. But just remember, Thursday night into Friday, technically the 31st, 3 a.m. Eastern, it will drop for Halloween, and we'll watch it in the Discord. So if you'd like to join, if you're not in the Discord, the link to join is in the description of this video. And then every every week after when it drops, I will be streaming it. I didn't get to do it for the premiere because I was away on a day trip last Sunday, but I will be streaming all the other episodes, provided nothing else happens that stops me. But as of now, I don't know of anything else going on. So I will be streaming the episodes when they drop on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. But this will be a special one for Halloween that's coming early. Anyway, let me try and speed this thing up. I'm rambling too much. Hey, so Amy says I have the audiobook. Yeah, and by the way, before you guys, I hope the production company isn't listening right now, but before you guys go buying it, you can actually find it on YouTube for free. So I've been listening to it for free. Don't tell, what is it, Warner Brothers who owns it? Um, that I'm spreading that around, but go looking on YouTube and you can find it for free. And it's very, very long. So just get ready for like 23 hours of audiobook. No joke. Not hyperbole. It's like really that long. It's the book is over, I think it's 1100 pages long, roughly. So yeah, it's not going to be quick, trust me. I'm trying to get through it as quickly as I can. And I gotta say something just real quick. Well, I'm not going to go on a long rant about this, but um, I have some bones to pick with the book. It is too goddamn full of filler. I'm sorry. I think Stephen King is an amazing writer. He's a legend. I love a lot of his work. But Jesus Christ, I am trying my damnedest to get through this audiobook, and it is so full of unnecessary filler about characters you are never going to hear from again, characters who are not important to the plot. I mean, you literally have to sit through like half an hour talking about these these poor unfortunate gay men who get targeted by some horrible gay bashers, and unfortunately, they're not going to be important to the plot at all, but you have to hear in minute detail all about them and about the gay bashers who attack them. And it's like, why? I'm just like scratching my head as to why nobody told Stephen King when he wrote that book, like, hey, you need to pare this down a lot. This book does not need to be 1100 pages long. You're writing minute detail about characters who have no significance whatsoever to the overall plot of this book. There's no need for this. It's unnecessary. Cut this out. Like, I don't understand it. I have a bachelor's degree in writing. I was trained in editing. If somebody handed this to me when I was tutoring my peers in college, I would have been like, this is a clusterfuck. This is too much. You have to pare this down. And I just think maybe by the time Stephen King wrote this, he had so much cachet as a writer that he could get away with whatever he wanted, and the editors couldn't stop him from doing anything. He could publish whatever. He could publish a 10,000 page book if he wanted to. I don't know. Sorry, that's just my little rant on that. I'm not saying it's not a great book because it is. I'm just saying it has a lot of stuff that could have been cut out. Obviously, it's a masterpiece and it spawned this incredible film franchise that I love and this show that I've been anticipating for over a year, and I'm so psyched to cover it. But yeah, it's frustrating to try to get through some of the book. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I've been waiting for this show for over a year. I'm really excited to cover it. I have very high hopes and expectations, and I hope that it can at least come close to living up to them. Oh, I'm keeping an open mind. And so far, I think it's off to a good start. But yeah, I mean, this is something that I've been anticipating a while. They said the show was going to be coming out in 2025, over a year ago, and I waited so long. I was like, when I started my channel, I knew I started my channel in September of last year, and I knew I was going to cover this show. I've been waiting all this time to cover this damn show. I've since covered Severance, The Last of Us, The Institute, Duster, you know, and still waiting on this. And it took them forever to finally announce October 2025 and then to finally give us a date. I'm so psyched that it's here. So, yeah, anyway, let's see. So let me get back to the chat here before we jump into the breakdown. Doc said King makes up towns and makes them sort of characters. Indeed, Derry it's almost like a character unto itself, isn't it? Brandon said Ludlow is the other town in Maine, Pet Cemetery, or Pet. I think wait, are you trying to write Pet Cemetery? Maybe I'm guessing. Let's see. And then Shadow said this was one of my. And I just went on a long rant about this book. I'm sorry, Shadow. Shadow said this was one of my favorite books growing up. This was one of the many Stephen King books my mom read to me and bedtime stories before I started reading them on my own at 9 to 10. Well, that's awesome. And hey, that's just my opinion on the filler in the book. I think the book is fantastic. I just think there are some parts that he could have omitted. That's all. Anyway, Doc said making up towns rather than using real ones is also more ethical. It prevents tourists who might bother townspeople. Great point. Great point. Um, Oh, yeah, you're into the watch party, Shadow? Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna stream all of them. I was disappointed that I couldn't do the first one, but I went out on a day trip to a beautiful place in Iowa called Pikes Peak, not the Colorado one. It's a beautiful bluff overlooking the Mississippi River, and so it was about a 4-hour drive, and didn't get back home till about 4 in the morning or something. So sadly, I couldn't stream the premiere episode, but I will be streaming all the others when they drop. Um, Amy, yeah, I've missed everyone too, and I love doing the watch parties with everybody. It's so fun. Doc said I listen on Spotify. You can listen to almost any audiobook on there with a paid subscription. Oh, I didn't know that. I have a paid subscription too. See. Hey there. Have Cheetah will view. Are there any and welcome. I haven't seen you before. Nice to see you. Are there any Bigfoots in Derry? Oh, I don't know, maybe. It's yeah, there could be almost anything in Derry, because it can manifest as anything, so hey, you never know. Um, Amy said, I don't agree with the writing where they had an yeah, they had an I guess I can say it on YouTube, orgy in the sewer. Um, I don't think I'll get in trouble with YouTube for saying that. Yeah, that was a fucked up part of the book. Okay, that was fucked up. They, it was written as some kind of weird rite of passage where Beverly and the boys basically have an orgy, all of them. And it's like they're transitioning into adulthood or something. It's sick and twisted, and Stephen King should have known better. That's warped. It's like it's perverted, is what it is. They're still kids. They're pretty young. Yeah, I'm not sure how young they're supposed to be in the books, but they're pretty young, and it's really messed up. And yeah, I don't understand that choice, but thankfully that's not in the movies, and I don't think any interpretation of it will ever include that part of the book. I'm sure King has gotten a lot of flack for that. Um, Shadow said, I'm glad this is one book I have brick and mortar. I can read much faster than I can listen to any audiobook. Oh, that's awesome. I read a little bit slow. I was an English major in college and then a writing major, but I just like to read slow and take in detail. And I don't know, I think I might have a little ADHD too. So so yeah, audiobooks help for me. I can play it while I'm doing other things like walking, which I do a lot of. Doc said, Julie, have you read Paradise by Toni Morrison? It was kind of like that, but it's because it was telling the story of a town, not the individual characters. Is the book a story about Derry? Not as much the kids. Oh, maybe. No, I have not read Paradise. That sounds interesting though. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Now I'll have to take a look at that. Have Cheetah Will View said it was okay, but that scene in the sewer was very disturbing even today. Um, the scene in the sewer. Wait, which scene in the sewer? There wasn't one in the show. That must be a reference to the movies,
What
right?
was the question? What was it again?
The scene in the sewer was very disturbing even today. What scene in the sewer? That wasn't referring to the show, right, Carl?
No, yeah, I think the only thing that went into the sewer was the pacifier, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it must be, yeah. Which scene are you talking about, Cheetah? Is this which scene from the movies? As I'm assuming you mean a scene from the movies. Amy said, just a warning, there is a thing that happens in the sewers that was real controversial. Oh, maybe you're talking about the orgy. Um, maybe. 'Cause that I think that happens in the sewers. So yeah, that's controversial, to put it mildly. Um, and Carl dropped the link here to my Buy Me a Coffee, which is something that you can actually donate to even internationally, which is pretty cool because I have a Cash App and Venmo, but those are only stateside. You can only people from the US can donate to those. This one is actually international. So yeah, if you want to support the channel, that's a great way to do it, and any amount helps. Trust me, no matter how small. You might think it's nothing. Any amount helps. I'm kind of dying under these bills for the channel right now. It's just ridiculous. They charge a lot. It's $45 a month for StreamYard just to be able to bring you a lot of live streams. I have no choice but to do the paid membership. I have to. They let you only stream a very little bit with a free membership, so I have to pay for it. And then then there's 15 a month to make thumbnails, and that brings me to $60 a month. And right now I'm in the hole every month. I'm like it's tough. It's tough. So yeah, it's difficult, but yeah, any little bit helps and is appreciated. Uh, Doc, and see, Doc. Oh, Doc was saying Patrick. Where's Patrick? I don't see a Patrick here. Hmm. Maybe I'm guessing one of these handles with the at is Patrick because YouTube is weird now and it's not showing people's display names anymore. It's showing like their name behind the display name, which is not always the same. So anyway, um, all right. So, Shadow said, "I don't mind you ranting about it. It was making me cackle." Stephen King has a certain way of writing that can be abrasive to readers.
Cheetah is Patrick.
Oh, okay. So Cheetah is Patrick. Got it. Um, yeah, and I like his attention to detail. When I think it's more relevant, I love his attention to detail and his creativity. And I think it is one of my all-time favorite stories. I just had never gotten around to reading the book. But in terms of the miniseries and the movie, the concept of it, I think is genius. It's absolute genius. Um, Anyway, so let's see. Doc said, "Have Cheetah Will View has a great channel that that reviews sci-fi and horror." Oh, cool. Thanks for dropping the link, Doc. Everyone check out Cheetah's channel. That's awesome. We're always happy to support other channels here, so feel free to come on here and anytime, and we will drop the link to your channel. Let's see, and I will be definitely checking it out myself. Cheetah said, I heard the Derry series has been roasted a bit. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I think I've gotten mostly good reviews from critics, but wow. Nice meeting you, Julie. Nice meeting you too. Nice meeting you too. It's always awesome to see new folks in the chat here and a fellow content creator at that. Very cool. Appreciate you being here. Doc said the show is decent so far, but it could still go either way. I agree. Yes, absolutely. So I'm gonna reserve judgment for now. I think it's got promise. Um, let's see. Um, Stephen King's editor should have known better. Yeah, I think so, personally. As a writer and someone who knows about editing myself. Yeah. Doc said King's target audience are boys of about that age and it can be off-putting. Oh yeah. Let's see. 14 likes. Awesome. Awesome. Please hit the like button and help people find the stream. That would be much appreciated. Um they were referring to the miniseries. It's not in the movie. Oh, okay. The orgy scene in the book. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, I'm catching up to the chat now. Shadow said, I understand the ADHD. Luckily, I'm also hyperlexic, and that helps. I also basically lived in my books growing up. I did too. I read a lot growing up. Amy said Hollywood doesn't have the best rep with that stuff. No, it doesn't. There's a lot of perverted stuff for sure. No, okay. You are so welcome. You are welcome, Cheetah. Let's see. Um, Paladin the cheetah is sleeping under his blanket. Oh, he's a real cheetah, a hybrid? Oh, that's so cool. Amy said, I'm happy they didn't include that in the movies. Yeah, I don't think there was any danger of that happening. That's too controversial even for Hollywood. So let's get into the breakdown here. Now, the challenge for me is going to be to remember everybody's names in a new series. I think I may have to pull up a list because it's difficult for me in the very beginning. So okay, so let's break down episode 1 here. It starts off with a clip from The Music Man, which some people are watching in a movie theater. And I'm not really familiar with The Music Man, so I had to kind of do a little research on what the significance of this is. And so it was definitely picked for a reason. And this man is kind of a shyster, um, deceiving, deceiving people, and the theme of deceit is, especially of children. He's deceiving children. That's a huge theme of it, and you know, so I can see like the parallels that they're, that lie between them, and why this particular scene was selected. And I think he was warning like the mothers. He was warning the mothers about something. I forget the exact quote in this particular scene, but it was very apropos to the situation here. Like the kids in this town are, the main target of it, and yeah, and it is certainly a deceitful, destructive force. So, and then we have little Maddie watching the movie with a pacifier in his mouth. Um, and like, yeah, I was like perplexed at it watching this because this kid is obviously way too old to be sucking on a pacifier, but this can be a sign of trauma when kids are doing this so late in childhood. And so that tells me that maybe he's been through trauma. Pennywise, or it, does tend to especially prey on children who have experienced trauma. They're especially good targets. They have more fears, and it loves fear. It thrives on fear, and that's what it feeds on. It's what nourishes it. So maybe this kid has been through some trauma, and I think wasn't Danny in The Shining, the little boy Danny, didn't he? Oh no, he wasn't sucking on a pacifier. He was still sucking his thumb all the time. Yeah, and that's also a sign of trauma. A kid that as old as Danny sucking on his thumb. So, yeah, there's a little bit of a common thread there. And there are a lot of little Easter eggs and little nods to various other works of Stephen King in this episode. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was a sort of Maddie. Of course, he had snuck in and didn't pay, so he's being chased out. And this young girl, I believe her name is Ronnie, is helping out at the movie theater her dad owns. I think, she obviously knew that Maddie had snuck in, maybe even helped him sneak in, and she covers for him. Mm, doesn't admit that she's seen him, even though she can see him literally right this moment hiding. Um, so I took a liking to her right away just for covering for Maddie here. And then her dad just kind of takes her away, and then unfortunately the usher spots him, chases him out. What is this here? It says Geronimo. It's always interesting to see what is in the surroundings of these shots, because there's usually some significance to whatever is placed in any particular scene. It's always a reference to something. Usually there's some sort of significance. Um, anyway, so the kid, Maddie gets, he takes off, and unfortunately, this pretty much seals his fate. The asshole usher who chased him off. He's right near the city limits, and you see the Welcome to Derry sign, birthplace of Paul Bunyan here. And there's Paul Bunyan holding a log. It is a center for logging. That's their main trade in Derry. And later they wind up erecting this giant Paul Bunyan statue that comes to life in the It movies. And keep in mind, this series obviously it exists in the same universe as the movies from the 2010s, also with Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, and the same director, I believe. Now down here, there's something that says the Legion of White Decency. It's a small detail. It's something that would be easy to look, blink and you miss it. But this is a racist organization right here, the Legion of White Decency. Obviously, from the name, you could pretty much figure that out right off the bat. And it's basically a little nod to basically a forthcoming theme that we're going to see in this series, which is racism, insidious racism in Derry. Racism was systemic in all kinds of toxic ways in the 1950s and 60s, in ways that were actually legal back then. And Derry, in the It book, Derry is a hotbed for racism and also hatred toward homosexual people as well. And basically, you know, like this is not just a horror show about, monsters and the unreal. It's also kind of blending the real horrors of this world, such as racism and the anti-gay bigotry that we saw with the gay bashing in the It Chapter 2 movie. And basically Pennywise, or It, brings out people's worst worst traits and darkest traits, and basically like amplifies them. So there would already be racism and hatred, regardless of whether it were there or not. But he definitely makes it worse. He makes it worse and more vicious, and yeah, so whatever racism there would already have been at this time in America, it would be amplified even more because of the presence of it. And so later this season, um, I expect to see basically that the fire that took place in the book at the Black Spot bar for Black service members, that's probably going to be depicted. And I believe the fire was set by the Legion of White Decency, if I'm not mistaken, from the book. If they're following the book, then this may be a nod to that happening later. Um, yeah. So just yeah, keep that in the back of your mind because that is probably going to be relevant later. So Maddie hitchhikes, and it appears that he's picked up by the perfect, wholesome American family, a mom, a dad, and two kids in the back seat, a boy and a girl. It's like the perfect nuclear family. Everything seems fine at first, and they're driving along, but it starts to get creepy pretty quickly. The little boy, he's really into spelling everything. The mom says, it's like his favorite thing. He wants to spell everything, and he starts spelling stuff, but the words he's spelling start getting weirder and creepier. Meanwhile, this girl, his sister, starts dipping her fingers into a container full of liver, and I don't know if it's cooked or what. She's like smelling it, sticking
That
it.
looks pretty raw.
Yeah, it looks raw. Sticks it in Maddie's face as if to offer him some. It's really gross. And then she starts fighting with him because he's annoying her little brother, that is. 'Cause he's annoying her. But there's something really off-putting going on. And then they pass by the Derry sign again, even though they haven't made any turns. So yeah, there's something supernatural
Very
going.
from like.
Yes, very, very from like indeed. So there's the Derry sign again. It's like they've gone around in a circle. So there's something supernatural happening with this car. Um, and yeah, and then like the parents make some kind of gross comment about their daughter being a harlot. Her mother calls her a harlot, and it says something about how she can't keep her legs closed. It's really gross.
Reminds me of her mother. That's what the guys.
Yeah, and then yeah, her husband said it reminds me of her mother. It's so it's so creepy and weird. So yeah. Yeah, there's something wrong with these people. You figure that out quickly. Um and yeah, and then the kid as the little boy is spelling weirder and more disturbing words like kidnapping, and what else did he spell? It was like, was it kidnapping and then something related to murder or uh I forget, but it was very unsettling, and he's begging to be let out of the car, Maddie. Um, but obviously they're not letting him because this whole family is this whole family is they're basically a manifestation of it. I think that none of them are even still alive. They're probably past victims of Pennywise, and we've seen how he can use the images of deceased people. Um, he can use the images of deceased people, and he's done it before. He did it in the movies. So these people may not even be alive at all. Um, and I think it's it's cool how they subvert expectations by showing this nuclear family who presented such a wholesome image in the 50s and early 60s. Um, so you would expect them to be a safe option for him to be riding with. But they're like a bunch of freaks who are, I think, not even really there at all. The whole thing is just an illusion manufactured by it. And right down to this disgusting birth, which I'm not going to show on screen because it's too graphic for YouTube. It's too bloody. So I didn't take any screenshots of the birth, but the pregnant mom starts having the child, which is not really a child. It's the mutant baby, which I'll show you in a second once it popped out of her. Then we have this creepy ass shot of the little boy with crossed eyes. Now that's a direct callback to the shot of Pennywise in It Chapter 2, the movie, when he's about to prey on a little girl at some kind of sporting event.
Yeah, under the bleachers.
Under the bleachers.
Mm-hmm.
He had his eyes crossed, just like this boy. And that just shows you this whole family is just a manifestation of it right here. And yeah, she's screaming and giving birth to this freakish thing. Um, and then it pops out, and like it's so disgusting. I was sitting there in absolute shock. Like, I couldn't believe how gory it was and really disturbing to watch. So yeah, I imagine it could be potentially triggering to some people having to actually look at this. So so you don't have to worry, no trigger warning necessary. I can't show gory images like that anyway on YouTube. But I am going to show images of this mutant baby once it's out and flying around the car. Yeah, it kind of looks like a creepy ass
It's so
mutant.
beautiful.
It looks kind of like a creepy ass mutant porcelain doll here. That's the thought that I had. It looks kind of made of porcelain there. Um, yeah, that's horrifying. It's got an extra head growing to one side. It's got like some kind of bat wings on another side.
That's its twin.
Yeah, it's like some kind of underdeveloped twin that's attached to it. There's a word for that. I forget. It's a specific term for it. And it goes flying around the car with the umbilical cord still attached. It's so gross, smashing into stuff. And then like it it, it doesn't show it in detail, but it it definitely kills Maddie.
Conjoined? No.
Um,
No, conjoined would be after they're both born, right?
right.
No.
Mm-hmm. I mean, unless I don't know if the other baby head attached to it is actually like alive, or if it's just because like there's a version if it's alive, if it's conscious, then that would be a conjoined twin. If not, it could be an underdeveloped twin that never, you know.
Remind me of my big frat Greek wedding. She's all, yes, it was my twin. Yes, sorry. We'll see who gets that reference.
And poor little Maddie covers his ears and puts the pacifier in his mouth. And the little girl, I mean the young girl, the little boy, and the mutant baby are all just staring at him. You can tell they're all one and the same entity. This is all just a manifestation of it attacking him. The way all three are just staring at him at the same time, and then the mutant baby lunges at him, and that's the last we see of Maddie. His pacifier goes hair down there, and it's floating. Everything floats down there, so that's a fitting way to start this series. The first victim claimed by it, and yeah, the last remaining part of him is now floating down there. I thought this was a cool shot. The iconic sewer under Derry, and then Welcome to Derry rises up out of the water. That was cool. I liked that. So then, 4 months later, so we get the year. It's April 1962, and it's this kid who I took a liking to right away. I think his name is Will. Is it Will or was it Bill? No, I think it's Will. And he's hanging out at this really cool secret spot. I forget what they called it. If anyone knows what the name of this thing is in the chat, let me know, because I don't remember at the moment, but it has a name. Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, he was there checking out his nerdy little things. He's spying on the military aircraft that are showing up around Derry. So you can see he's drawing different aircraft and then marking down the dates and what type of aircraft are showing up. So there's a military presence in Derry, and this kid is smart to take note of it and wonder what's going on here. Why is there suddenly a military presence in this small town? And it's something we should be asking too. Why are they sending the military to this little town in Derry right now?
Shadow says it was that's the Derry water tower.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm.
The-
And Cheetah noted it was that the fighter plane was a starfighter. I think it's the F-104 starfighter.
Oh, cool. Yeah, thanks, Cheetah. And Shadow. Yeah, thanks for that, because I could not remember like what they called it. It doesn't look like a normal water tower. I don't know. Yeah. Thank you, Carl, for letting me know that. Um, parasitic twins. That's it, Shadow. Yeah. I think that was a parasitic twin
But then
attached
what
to
did
that.
Amy say on there? She's got another more fancier term.
Amy said a form of conjoined twinning where one twin is underdeveloped and parasitic. That's it.
The what Amy wrote, some chrono something or another.
Oh, Craniopagus parasiticus. Oh,
Whoa.
sounds Latin. Cool. Let's see. Before I move on, let's check in with the chat here. Um, go back up a little bit. David and Jill, hey, what's up? I'm hoping the series isn't another retelling of the OG miniseries. I was hoping for an origin story. Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. I think this is going to be a whole new thing, and they're going a different direction in this. From what I can see, that's what they're doing. And they're going to keep telling more and more about the origins of Derry and it with each season of this show, from what I've heard. Yeah, Samuel said in Stephen King's defense, cocaine is a hell of a drug. Yeah, he must have been on something when he wrote this book, easily. Cheetah said, I wonder if the man in black makes a guest appearance. Oh, maybe. Let's see. David said, I still need to watch the episode again. I was distracted. Yeah, if you watch it again, I do think that it's quite different from the miniseries and the movies. It's a prequel, like Samuel said here. He said hopefully they include some stuff from the books, though. Oh, I think they will. But they did create a bunch of new characters, though. These kids are all new characters, and I think the adults, a lot of them, not all. There are a few who aren't new. Um, let's see. Shadow said, from what was said in the theater, it seems like Maddie had a bad home life. Yes, definitely. Amy said I was in diapers till I was 5 because of trauma, so I can relate some. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Amy. So sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's awful. No child should have to go through trauma that stunts them like that. Cheetah said Pennywise was not the scariest creature Derry produced. Really? Well, I mean, yeah, Pennywise the clown. Yeah, maybe not, honestly. He might have scarier forms than that. Um, let's see. Amy said Stephen King was bringing awareness of something that happened based on a true story and bringing awareness at an earlier time where someone got brutally killed for being gay. Right. Yeah, when he wrote this, um, yeah, that was, I mean, I like that he was bringing awareness to that horrific event for sure. But yeah, I hated that part of the movie and the book too. But I understand why he did it. I just thought he shouldn't have gone into quite so much detail in the book. That's all. Um, Samuel said the episode explored that well with the lampshade made of human skin. A monster didn't do that. Men and women did. Yes, exactly. So we're seeing like human horror side by side, juxtaposed with supernatural horror. So yeah, like for example, the you know in the Holocaust, people really did make lampshades out of human skin in, you know, uh, Germany. I can't say the word on YouTube, but you know what I mean. And yeah, unfortunately, that actually happened, and they show a scene like that and make a reference to it in this episode. Um, so yeah, this show explores some really dark themes in real life human horrors and human demons, not just the supernatural. And that's true of the book. It's so we're gonna see a lot more of that, I think. I think the movies and the miniseries, they don't explore those themes of racism and hatred of gay people and that sort of thing. They don't show that as much. But I think they're gonna explore that a lot more in the actual series. Um, let's see. Amy said Adrian's death is inspired by the murder of Charlie Howard in Bangor, Maine in 1984. Yeah, Adrian is the one who was killed. That's right. Um, Shadow said, I think it was the perfect family because Maddie had such an awful home life. Yeah, that's what makes it especially cruel, too. His family might have seemed so inviting to him. David said, I enjoyed the moment when you realize they aren't a wholesome family. It was kind of terrifying and gave that feeling of dread I'm looking for in a Stephen King story. Yeah, I agree. That was really cool. That was a great scene, I have to say. It was a compelling, gripping way to start the series. Yes, Amy, it was scary when they were all spelling because they all joined in spelling with the little boy. Yeah, that was really disturbing. David said even if it was fairly ominous before he stepped in. Agree, yes. Starting to spell ominous words, the girl was fingering raw meat. Yeah, right? The liver was nasty. Jumpin' Slash said Skarsgård did that with his eyes. That's right. It wasn't CGI. He could actually move his eyes like that, which is amazing. Um, yeah, Bill Skarsgård, what a get for this show. It's awesome that he agreed to do it because originally he said he wasn't going to do the show and they talked him into it. He was fantastic as Pennywise in the movies. So, I was really happy that he signed on for this. Okay. Hey, Christine, nice to see you. She says, I thought the episode was great. Awesome. Um, let's see. Samuel said people in USA got turned into wallets and other souvenirs. Ooh, after lynchings and burnings too. Yeah, I've heard about that. Oh my God. It's just unthinkable. Absolutely unthinkable. So disturbing, but true. Um, anyway, so getting back to the breakdown here, we get onto the military base and the arrival of, oh, what's his name? No, I'm drawing a blank. Is the grandfather of Mike, Hanlon, I believe. I believe his last name is Hanlon. And I believe he actually makes an appearance as an old man in the It movies, with young Mike Hanlon. I mean, I'm gonna have to like pull up the character list because for the life of me, I can't remember the names of these characters in the first episode. Let's see. IMDb. Well, anyway, the dude's name is Leroy. Leroy Hanlon. Leroy Hanlon. He's the grandfather of. Why is there an echo? You know it? Okay. You think it's the phone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, hold on.
Okay.
How about there?
I think it's gone. It's gone. Okay. Yeah, it's great to have a new show to talk about, Christine, right? It's great. I love talking about From, but we can only talk so much about it in the off season before we do need something new to talk about for a while. So anyway, yeah, this dude is Leroy Hanlon. He's the grandfather of young Mike Hanlon from the It movies. And he's arriving on this Air Force base, and it's unclear why he's being brought to Derry. What is going on here? A sleepy little small town. So what don't we know? Like, what are we not being told about this? I'm sure there's something to this that will be revealed later. Um, Now they point out this area, and the guy who's giving the tour to Leroy is really kind of uh, is kind of evasive, doesn't say anything specific's going on there, and it says Category 1 restricted area is unlawful to area base commander $5,000 or imprisonment or both. It's patrolled by guards. They put vicious in front of the dogs, okay? Vicious sentry dogs in big letters on the bottom line there.
Vicious chihuahuas. They're walking around there.
Yeah. Vicious chihuahuas, maybe. I mean, and then they look at each other, these two exchange a look, and then this guy gives a little side eye back at Leroy as they pass the special projects area. This is Dick something or other.
Halloran?
Hal,
Halloran?
Halloran? Dick Halloran. He is the guy with the shine who also appears in The Shining and comes to the rescue of Danny and his mom in the end as an older man. He knows some shit. Look at his face. What does he know? Yeah, there's something to this guy. This will be really interesting to follow him and see how he can use his shine to, you know, combat Pennywise, and I'm sure it's going to come in handy. So yeah, they talk about let's see, is it in this scene where the guy who's giving the tour, he basically like he says that yeah, okay, Derry is a small town and all, um but being where it is, its geographical location, as far north as it is, he calls it like the first line of defense or the tip of the spear against potentially Russia in the Cold War, if anything were to happen, if there were like a nuclear threat.
Because they can fly over the North Pole quickly.
Right. So so yeah, there's that threat, that looming threat of the Cold War and potential nuclear war, that nuclear attack. Um, and from there, and you know, they also he refers to it as when this happens, when there's a nuclear attack. And Leroy says he's an optimist. He likes to you know think of it as if, not when. Um, and the others in the car don't share his optimism, apparently. But and then of course, very fittingly from that scene, we cut right to this. Bert the turtle says duck and cover at the Derry High School, and this is a real campaign, real educational campaign that was around back then, and it was basically what the grade schools used to do during the Cold War. They would have all the kids duck and cover under the desks, and they would use this turtle as their kind of mascot. Uh, and it was really a total joke because hiding under a desk wouldn't save anybody during a nuclear strike. So it's been later criticized in, you know, in subsequent years as, you know, just basically a propaganda campaign and basically pointless because that's not going to save you. That's not going to save anybody ducking and covering under a desk. But anyway, so oh, what's her name? Clara? Is her name Clara? I think this young girl. Now I gotta double check so I make sure I'm not calling her the wrong thing. Yes, Clara. Wait, she no, her real name's Clara. Her name on the show is Lily. So Lily is our child. From what I can see, she appears to be our child protagonist. We'll see. Maybe not. Because this show is playing tricks on us. Um, it's playing tricks on us because in the promotional materials, it showed it showed like three of the kids who died in this episode right there, along with Lily and Ronnie. So who knows who's actually going to be a protagonist and who's going to make it far into the
No
series.
one's safe, Julie. No one's safe.
Yeah.
Pennywise.
Yeah. In this series, nobody is safe.
Mhm.
They've made that abundantly clear. So, so Lily opens her locker and a jar of pickles comes flying out, smashes on the floor. Then she sees there a bunch more are in there, and everyone around her laughs. Why? Because kids are fucking cruel monsters, and her father had a tragic accident and was killed at a pickle factory. Oh, let me check on the chat. So in a second, I'm going to check back in with you guys. But yeah, just to sum up, her dad, her dad was killed in a tragic accident at a pickle factory, and she carries around immense guilt for this because she had forgotten something at the factory, and so her dad basically went back to get this toy that she left behind. And while he was there, there was some kind of an accident, and he wound up dying due to getting caught up in some machinery there. And so now she lives with this guilt, like she was responsible for his death. This is trauma that Pennywise can basically exploit. He loves to exploit kids who have trauma and, you know, pain. They're easy targets. So she'll definitely be a suitable target for him. And in real life, would kids actually be this ridiculously cruel, or they would tease a kid for what? Because her father died at a pickle jar factory? It doesn't really make any sense. Um, there is horrible real life bullying. I've been bullied. I know plenty of people who've been bullied horribly. I think movies and TV just tend to exaggerate it even worse than how it actually is. Because logically, I don't really understand why you would bully someone because her father was killed in a factory accident. It doesn't really make sense. Um, but again, this is Derry, and everyone is under the influence of it. Like, even if it's not obvious, when people are cruel to each other in this town, it, it probably has some kind of um some sort of influence over them and brings out the worst in human nature. There's already bullying, racism, hatred for other people all over anyway. It's already in human nature. It's too common in human nature, but he brings it out even more and amplifies it. And cruelty like this, yeah, the impulse to bully people, he would make it even worse. So I suspect this is once again its influence on the people of Derry. This ridiculous level of bullying against this girl. Also, she spent some time in a mental institution after her father's passing, so everyone calls her loony. They think she's crazy, so that's another reason why she's bullied. But anyway, let me check in with the chat again before we move on. Um, let's see. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot about that vasectomy. Hey, Justin. When they were spelling words in the car, I was trying to remember the different words that they were spelling with the little kid, and one of them was vasectomy. Yeah, that was hilarious too. I forgot about that. Thanks for the reminder. Um, oh, am I choppy again? Let me know in the chat if I'm choppy. I'm just seeing this now, Doc. I don't know what's going on. If I'm choppy again, I'll try switching devices. So let me know.
You
Okay.
sound okay when I turn up the volume of the tablet right now.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like my voice is okay again. So yeah, let me know. Keep me posted if my voice gets choppy again, and I'll see if I can fix it. Um. Anyway, so let's see here. Um. Hey, Justin. He said, "Hey, Julie. Glad to see you feeling well enough to do this with Pandecolima. Hope you enjoyed the episode and met your expectations." Well, thank you so much. Yeah, last night I was in very bad shape, and I just couldn't bring myself to get out of bed. Sometimes just even getting out of bed when I'm in such severe pain every day is brutal, and I just couldn't do it. But I am feeling better tonight, so thank you for saying that. Um, and I did enjoy the episode, and it it's hard because I had very high astronomically high expectations. I've been anticipating this show for over a year, so it's a little tough. It's difficult to meet a bar that high when you're that excited about something and you're a huge fan of this franchise. But I did enjoy it. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10 right out of the gate, and I'm keeping an open mind, and I'm hoping that it keeps continuing to go up. I would have given it a higher rating if they hadn't killed off my favorite kid on the very first episode. I believe his name is Will, the weirdo who was obsessed with aliens and tracking the military planes and stuff like that. I thought he was really funny, so it annoys me that he got killed off already, but I understand why they did it, that they wanted to up the stakes and show that no one is safe now. This is not like the movies. This is not like the miniseries where you know that all the kids are going to survive because you know that they survived to adulthood. We've seen them. And in this case, no, nobody's safe. Anyone is fair game, and they wanted to show us that. So I get what they were doing, and I think that was very effective. But damn, did they have to make the kids so likable before they killed them? I guess that was the point, though. That was the point. They did that on purpose. And if you watch the featurette at the end of the episode, they basically said that. They want to make you fall in love with these characters and then get rid of them immediately to, yeah, to up the stakes and let you know that no one is safe. And well, mission accomplished. They really did achieve that. Anyway, so let's see. Um okay, I'm scrolling down a little bit, see if I missed anything else before I continue. Shadow said, in real life, yes, kids are this cruel. She also spent time in the mental hospital after the accident, which is why those kids call her Loony Lily. Well, that I understand, absolutely. And I was bullied a lot, and I was treated horribly by other kids. So I know kids are cruel, very cruel, but I just don't really get, okay, what is there to make fun of? Your dad died. Ha ha. Let's make fun of the fact that your dad died. That part is what I didn't really get. But the rest of it, sure. I mean, the Looney Lily thing, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. Christine said Pennywise is similar to the devil in so many ways, how he feeds off fear and pain and comes in many forms and faces. Very true. And yeah, can assume a pleasing shape like the devil. Comes in all different forms, master of deception. Absolutely, I can see that. Absolutely. Great point, Christine. And 18 likes. Awesome. Please hit the like button. Helps people find the stream. And it's always an uphill battle covering a new show, so that would be much appreciated to help people find us. It's just a little thing that you can do, and it really does help with the algorithm if you do hit the like. Um, and if you're so inclined, sharing the stream and dropping a comment in the regular comment section when this is over also helps with the algorithm. And okay, Shadow Skulk said, the only one with any sort of plot armor is Danny's mentor and Mike's dad until he's older and actually has his family at least. Yeah. Um, um, yeah, that's right. That's right. Because we know that, let's see, Mike's dad, yeah, he can't go anywhere. I did highlight this. Um, So, and, Carl, thank you for putting this in the chat. Way that you can support the channel is through Buy Me a Coffee, which is an international way to donate too, even if you're not in the States. So that's cool, unlike Cash App and Venmo. I do have those. I have Cash App and Venmo, which are in the description of this video too. But then there's this Buy Me a Coffee thing. And any little bit helps. It's extremely expensive having a YouTube channel, and so yeah, anyone who's so inclined, that's much appreciated. Um, and yeah, I just I'm gonna have to look into other ways to stream because StreamYard is just getting ridiculous. OBS is free, but it's very complicated to use, and I haven't taught myself how yet. So StreamYard it is for now. And it is not cheap, unfortunately. So anyway, back to the chat here. Where did I leave off? The whole town, yeah, Amy said the whole town is infested with evil, which is why people are so awful. Yes, that's right. Because of it. Yeah, they're even worse than they would be normally. There's already bullying and all kinds of horrible things, even if it wasn't there, but he just makes it worse. He brings out the worst in human nature and amplifies it. Um, oh, good. Okay, not choppy anymore. Thank you, Doc. Preston, hey, what's up? Welcome. Let's see. It says, what is this? Casey, Doc, and this dropped around the same time. What a coincidence. Um, I'm not sure what that means.
John Wayne Gacy, who
Oh,
dressed up as a clown when he or was a clown, and then he was like murdering everybody.
oh, okay. Yeah. I've heard that potentially that was an inspiration for Pennywise for for Stephen King as he wrote this. So maybe I'm not sure. I don't think it was ever. I don't think he ever confirmed it, but it very well could have been. The way that that murderer was preying on children and dressing up as a clown. Yeah, Amy said yes, he was an inspo, John Wayne Gacy, right? I think so for sure. But it's never been confirmed. And and yeah, like Doc said, welcome to the channel, Preston. Thanks for popping in. Gonna be covering this show every week, and normally, so I'm thinking that normally the lives for this will be Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Next week I'm probably gonna do it sooner though, because episode 2 is dropping early on basically the middle of the night, Thursday night into Friday, 3 a.m. Eastern time on Halloween. So since this episode is dropping early, episode 2, I'm thinking we'll do a stream to cover it on Monday. That's my tentative plan. I'll let you know if we decide to do it any sooner, but most likely it's going to be Monday. Monday at maybe 10 p.m. Eastern, but I'll keep you posted on that. And then in subsequent weeks, it's probably going to go back to Tuesdays, which is my original plan. Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, we'll cover every episode of this show. And if you want to watch with us, I'm going to stream every episode when they drop in my Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description of this video. If you're not in there, you can join. And the next episode will be dropping at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, 2 a.m. Central on Halloween. So that's Thursday night into Friday, technically the 31st. I'm going to stream it when it drops then. And then when the next episode drops, I believe that will be Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll do a watch party for that as well in the Discord. And then every Sunday after that until season is over. Anyway, Amy said Stephen King has a fear of clowns. Oh, well, then I guess what you're right about what you know. Justin said, yeah, he was a cool character. He's similar to the kid from the movie, always telling jokes. Yeah, people have compared him to Richie, the funny kid from the movie. I liked him a lot. He was my favorite, so it pissed me off they killed him off already. To the Mayans on the calendar, Pennywise is a real demon known as how do you pronounce this?
uh
Socodle?
huh.
Socodle the clown.
Something like that.
Who
Like, yeah, because I know Quetzalcoatl is that's a different one. That's the plume serpent.
right.
So I would say kind of like how you said it.
Who eats the fish, the fourth age into the fifth age. In the Bible, Pennywise is Abaddon or
Apollyon.
Apollyon to the Greeks. Interesting, Justin.
Yeah, that's another name for the devil in the Bible too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, interesting stuff. Um, yeah, and Pennywise definitely does seem like a demon. So, yeah, that fits. That absolutely fits.
He's a demonio.
Yeah. Certainly looks demonic in this background that I have here with him surrounded by flames.
He's the Chamuco.
Preston said, I guess I still liked it. Pennywise is scary. Oh yeah, I love Pennywise. Um, I love the It franchise. I was so psyched about this show coming out. Yes, Amy, bullies suck, absolutely. Um, and yeah, again, Shadow said that the only ones with any sort of plot armor are Danny's mentor and Mike's dad. Yeah, because we know Mike's dad has to live to have Mike. So like basically so Mike's grandpa has also has plot armor, Leroy. Leroy is the new military officer who shows up, and he's got to be around because I believe he appears in the movies as the older man on the farm with Mike, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that that's actually him as an old man in the movies. And Mike's dad winds up dying. In the movies, Mike's parents are both dead, and he's living with his grandfather on the farm. And Danny's mentor. Who's Danny? Danny. Oh wait. Oh, I know. Danny from The Shining. Duh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Danny's mentor is Dick. What's his last name?
Halloran.
Dick Halloran. Dick Halloran is the driver of the military vehicle in this episode, and yeah, he has plot armor too, because he's got to go on and be in The Shining. So yeah, other than that, anyone else is fair game.
He's
Anyone
gotta
can go.
he's gotta go on and catch that axe to the chest.
Yeah, we know how he meets his end.
Mhm.
An axe to the chest. If you're following Stanley Kubrick's version of The Shining, I don't know what happens to him in the book, but Stanley Kubrick changed The Shining a whole lot, so who knows?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Stephen King hated how he changed his book.
And everyone hated how Stephen King directed his book.
Yeah, Stephen King then went on to do his own TV movie version of The Shining, which was a
Mhm.
fucking train wreck. Oh my God, it was so bad. Anyway, Justin said 911 is Shocodal. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Mhm.
Apollyon Abaddon number. The real demon and numbers are important to spirits, i.e. Pennywise representation. Okay. Interesting. Preston said, hope they have Pennywise being a clown for the most part in this one because I prefer him in that form. I heard somewhere rumors of them having him as a different form. Hope that's not true, at least. Not too much anyway. Yeah, I agree with you. I like Pennywise as the clown better than anything else. I mean, he's the one we know the most. He's the most recognizable form of it and the most memorable, the creepiest. I mean, he's the most common version that we follow, and we think of him as the clown, but he can take on almost, well, literally any form. And if you look right here, I mean, he's gonna appear in the show. Like, this is a screenshot coming from this season. It said coming this season on Welcome to Derry, and it showed Pennywise here.
Oh, is that the fire at the black spot behind him?
I bet it is. Yes,
Hmm.
I bet it is. There's gonna be in the book there was a fire at the bar, the Black Spot, and that was in 1962, so it's probably going to happen. Well, at least in the movies, they said it happened in 1962. I don't know about the book. There was a different timetable in the book.
In the chat, they're saying that Pennywise should be a Pokemon.
Oh, why is that?
I don't know. They want to see him as a Pokemon.
Oh, Justin said would love to see Pennywise as a Pokemon.
Mhm.
Someone should draw it. Amy had said sounds like a
Who said
Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Yeah. Um, that would be different. Yeah.
Hmm.
Pennywise as a demonic Pokemon, maybe. I I agree with Preston that I like him as a clown the best, and I hope we get a lot of him as a clown.
Or maybe Pennywise as a Labubu,
As a yeah, uh,
whatever those things are.
right. Yeah, I have no idea what that is, um, but yeah, he's at his best as the clown, and they worked hard to get Bill Skarsgård back as Pennywise the clown. I'm sure we'll see a lot of this right here, to haunt our dreams or our nightmares. I mean, this is terrifying. And this is from the little preview this season on Welcome to Derry, and it showed a bunch of stuff, including this. So we'll definitely have plenty of the clown. We'll have plenty of that, but we'll definitely see him in different forms, and that's not unusual. He came in lots of different forms in the movies too. Uh, and with a TV series, there's plenty of time to show him in different forms. I will say that I missed seeing him in the premiere. I wanted to see him make an appearance as the clown in the premiere, and I wish they had shown that. That's the iconic version of Pennywise or that of it that we're used to seeing the most. So I hope they don't wait too long to show us the clown. Um, let's see. When the little boy switched bracelets, they switched fates. Yeah, Amy, I'll dive back into the pictures and we'll get into that. I think so too. And he traded charms um with Lily and gave her the turtle, and she said turtles are lucky. That turtle was a reference to Mature in the Turtle from the book, and he's a protective force. So that may protect her in some way against Pennywise. And right after Maddie gave that away, he got killed. She traded him for some rocket ship charm. So there you go. I think they traded fates too, Amy. It was supposed to kill her instead. I think that's a great theory, Amy, and that I totally agree. That makes total sense. Absolutely. Um, Cheetah said, I had fun. We'll be back for episode 2. Awesome. Thank you so much. And that will most likely be Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it earlier than this. It might wind up being a little later, so I'll keep you posted on that. But if you're subscribed and keep your notifications on, you'll know when I actually go live, because sometimes I do run late due to my pain condition. So, yeah, if you could please subscribe and hit the notification bell, then you'll actually see when I go live. And I do get held up by my pain, unfortunately. So that's how I wind up on here so late at night. Anyway, Justin said, yeah. So Justin agreed that it was supposed to kill her instead. Yeah, I think that makes total sense. Christine said Pennywise was in the form of the family who picked up the boy. Absolutely, I agree. Amy said because of where it crash landed, it poisoned the town. Stephen King never confirmed it though. Yeah, I uh, I think so too. That makes sense. 20 likes. Awesome. Thank you so much. Please keep hitting the like button. Much appreciated. Trace, yes, I think it looks like it's going to be a good series too. And Iowa is great so far. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's getting a little cold, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful fall weather out here, and I'm loving it so far. Loving it. Thanks for asking. Preston said, I love the 70s and 80s hairstyles and clothing. That's why I would never that's why I would give anything to be in one of these 80s movies or series, so I can ask them if I can keep the prop clothing for myself. LOL. Yeah, right? That would be so fun. Anyway, oh my God, Amy said I watched it when I was 7. I've always loved horror, even though I had nightmares. Jeez, yeah, had I had horrible nightmares as a kid. I couldn't have watched this. But I guess, yeah, you get desensitized eventually. Preston said the one with the curly hair was a little Law and Order SVU detective on how he thought things out and went to locations to lead them to investigate. Yeah, he was. He was. I That's a great observation. Um, I'm gonna miss the kids who got killed off in this episode. Um, anyway, Preston said I can relate with him being inspired in this stuff to figuring it out. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Will we see a young Jack Torrance? Oh, that would be cool, Christine. I love, love, love The Shining. I would love to see as much crossover as we can. And we know there's a lot of bleed through and crossover between the different works of Stephen King. Some of them exist in the same universe. And we do have a character, Dick. Um, Dick Dick Holloman in this series, he's also in The Shining. So yeah, we could see more crossover. Shadow said it is even more prolific than a demon. He's like a dimensional demon that devours from the realm with the turtle that vomited our universe. Yeah, that's right. I mean, he's he's on a higher level than just a demon. He's like some kind of a deity or something. Um, let's see. Amy said my purse caught fire after being in a claw machine place with a million
Labubu's.
Labubus. Oh my god. What the hell? Amy said Maddie
That was
chose the it
creepy.
one.
That idea is creepy. Those Labubus are creepy.
Yeah, they are. Uh, Amy said Maddie chose the it one. It came down from the sky and crash landed. Yeah, definitely. I know I felt bad for Maddie too, Preston. Felt so bad for him, that poor kid. Um, anyway, let's see. You guys are brave. Shadow also watched this as a kid. Jesus. I couldn't even watch Are You Afraid of the Dark without getting nightmares, although I still watched it anyway. And Justin, you too? Damn, you guys are a tough bunch. Saw this about the same age, 5 years old, alone in the house. Oh my God, you're you're brave. I guess I was the only chicken shit in the group here. Um,
Oh, remember, I didn't watch it either. Once I saw that clown. Ugh.
oh really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you not like clowns as a kid? Were you
No, I
like
was never afraid of clowns, but then there's a clown in the sewer with those nasty teeth. And I was like,
you're
no,
good
thank
with
you.
that? Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think it's good that you're discovering it now, like really discovering it, diving into it because it's it's a really great story.
Mhm.
Uh,
As you can tell by looking at me, I'm very sensitive.
yeah, you seem real sensitive. Um, so getting back into the episode, you got Bert the Turtle, which is a real thing back in the 50s and 60s, a real campaign by the government, this duck and cover thing, as if that was going to save anybody from a nuclear strike. And he's there giving out pamphlets. Um, and so, yeah, and then You got Will and what is his friend's name again? Shoot, I forget. Oh, right here. Teddy. There we go. That's it. It helped me out. I was like, what's his name? It's not Teddy Urine though. It's Teddy Uris. And a lot of people missed this. A lot of people, some of the reviewers of the show missed this, but he's related to Stanley Uris from the original movies and the franchise. Um, he's, I believe,
Oh, that's
the
right. They're
uncle.
all Jewish as well, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
Jewish family.
yeah. He was studying for his bar mitzvah in this episode, and his last name is Uris. He's the uncle of Stanley Uris from the book and from the movies. And his older brother is Stanley's father. So yeah,
Mhm.
so yeah, another connection to the later characters. Um, and they used to actually make fun of Stanley with the same stupid nickname. It was Stanley Urine, they called him in school, in the books, I believe.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, moving on from there, we had a scene showing the racism that's systemic in Derry, and this was a really common and um, widely accepted part of American life back then, and it was legal at the time to discriminate based on race. Um, in 1962. This was before the Civil Rights Act. But yeah, so you had Leroy Hanlon showing up, and these are guys who are supposed to be saluting him. He's their superior officer, but this white guy on the far left is a racist. And it's not until I think this is a general who shows up and puts him in his place, and he and later gets in trouble for his insubordination. Um, yeah, so this is going to be an ongoing theme of this season. The I mean, this is only the beginning. There's severe racism going on in Derry. And it's going to get way worse than this, from what I can gather. It's going to escalate into like an all-out like racial attack. An incident of racial violence on a bar where Black service members hang out in town. If they're following the book, that's what happens in the book. And we'll see. Who knows if they're going to actually follow that trajectory in the show? But that's what happened in the book. There was an incident at a bar with a fire, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this goes. But and then you have this is Dick. Damn,
Halloran.
Halloran.
Yeah,
Halloran.
Halloran.
Halloran. Once again, giving some interesting side eye to Leroy here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he knows some shit. He definitely knows some shit. And
Criminal side eye.
yeah, I think he knows there's something seriously wrong with Derry, and yeah, he's gonna prove to be an asset going forward, I'm sure, because he has the shine. He has psychic abilities that we later see play out in The Shining. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what's going to happen with this character in this show. How he can use this against Pennywise, against it. And then there's this scene with Will being a creeper and watching some lady across the way undressing and yeah, being a little peeping Tom, basically. It's very comical though. He's got a fake mustache on. Meanwhile, his nerdy little friend has no interest in it whatsoever, and is just hard at work on something over there at the desk. Not interested at all, and it was almost seeming like he didn't want to look because maybe he was into Will himself, like he had a crush on his friend. But now we'll never know because they're both dead. So there you go. Uh, that's what we were thinking. Like we were thinking maybe like this kid has a crush on his friend here because he doesn't want to go check out the lady undressing. But who knows? That'll remain a mystery forever, I guess. Um, on the wall here, there's a little Easter egg that says "Creature from the Black Lagoon." It's a poster from the classic movie, and this was featured. There's a reference to it featured in the It book, where it manifested as the creature from the Black Lagoon to a kid who had just seen the movie and was terrified of it. So yeah, little Easter egg there for book readers. Um, this is a little picture that who is it that was holding this? I think this is Will holding this book. Yeah, and it says Martians walk among us. And yeah, he's drawn this in graphic detail where this Martian is attacking and killing a person, and also abducting a kid and a bike, pulling it up into a UFO. Yeah, so that you have that theme of aliens abducting and harming people, harming children. And what is Pennywise? What is it? It's an alien. So an apropos thing for this kid to be ruminating over. He has no idea just how insidious the alien threat actually is in this town. He has no clue what he's up against. And now he never will. He'll never have a clue because he's gone. my favorite character already gone. Oh, I guess I have to find a new favorite now.
You have to pick one every episode and then watch them die.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll just pick off everyone I like one by one. So let's see, anything else in this shot? Oh yeah, so he's basically just drawing lots of aliens. He's obsessed with aliens. I don't know why he's wearing the goofy mustache, but it's hilarious, and I was here for it. I loved this kid. And then they start arguing about their friend Maddie, because he wasn't really their friend, but they're both feeling, well, this kid in particular, what's his name? What was his name? They called him something urine as a
Mhm.
joke. I don't remember his name now. It already slipped my mind. But he was feeling guilty because the two of them were basically paid to go to their classmate Maddie's birthday party, and he thought that they were his friends, but they didn't even really care about him that much, and Maddie didn't really have any friends. Now this kid here on the left is feeling kind of guilty about that, and how they could have been nicer and actually tried to be Maddie's friends. And now Maddie is gone, and Will is Will doesn't really feel bad at all, honestly. He's just like, moved on, like the least. Um, but Lily has a lot of guilt related to Maddie. Um, and as she's getting ready for bed, she's reminded of him when she looks at her bracelet. Uh, she remembers this night where Maddie took her up to the water tower, and Will had shown him this place, and he wasn't supposed to tell anybody, but he wanted to impress Lily, of course. He had a crush on her, brought her up there, and you could see this beautiful view of Derry. Um, he had this turtle charm, which was a shout out to none other than Mature and the Turtle from the books, and or from the book, singular. And she had this rocket ship charm, and they traded. And she said, "Oh, turtles are lucky." She took it, and in the book, the turtle is thought to be potentially a protective force against it. The turtle is a creative force, while it is a destructive force. And so, yeah, this is definitely a shout out to Mature and the Turtle. And as soon as Maddie gives that turtle away, the little turtle charm, what happens? He dies, and Lily lives another day. Lily survives the episode, so I think there's definitely a reference in there.
Symbolism.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely it's symbolism and it's foreshadowing, I think. Um, and then she confides in Maddie about how her father died at the pickle factory. And she cries about it and her guilt regarding that, how she feels it was her fault that he died because she left her toy behind, and he went to get it that night, and he wouldn't have been in that accident otherwise. And he tries to console her, and then as they're watching fireworks, what could have been a sweet romantic moment turns awkward when Maddie starts moving in to kiss her, and she's embarrassed, either embarrassed or just not interested in him that way, and she backs up. He takes off, of course, understandingly humiliated, I'm sure, and now she's left with that guilt too, the poor kid, as if she needed more guilt on her conscience. Um, and there she is with this turtle on her bracelet, which I really do think is meant to kind of symbolize protection. And I predict Lily is not going anywhere. I know that no one is safe in this show. They've made that abundantly clear, but I predict Lily is going to be sticking around for a while, at least as long as she has this charm. If she gives this turtle charm away or if she loses it, then she's toast. That is my prediction. I'm going out on a limb right now. I think that's meant to symbolize protection. Then her mother comes, knocks at the door and tells her that she needs to go see her father's grave the next day, and kind of chides her, berates her for never having gone there yet since her father died, and basically invalidates her pain and her grief and her feelings, saying that awful things happen to everyone, which is just so insensitive and thoughtless, especially for her own mother to say. This is a child who's lost her father. Awful things happen to everyone. Nobody should lose their parent so young, and awful is kind of a mild word to describe the loss of a parent. An awful thing. Give me a break. I instantly could not stand this mother. This is quickly followed by an extremely creepy moment where she has her first encounter with it, none other than it, down the drain. And this harkens back to the first time that Beverly in the It movies, and possibly in the book, I'm not sure, but in the It movie, the first time Beverly has an encounter with it's through a drain in her bathroom. She hears, I think she hears a kid down the drain, one of the
Yeah.
kids who died. And now, this young girl and another young adolescent girl, she hears, I think it's Maddie down there talking to her, right? She hears Maddie, and she hears, I think he's singing something from the Music Man, a song from the Music Man. She hears the music from it, and she hears Maddie. So yeah, so here we have it. Her first contact with it through the drain, through the sewer system, just like Beverly's first contact with it, also through the drain in her bathroom. Thankfully, this time, this girl doesn't get splattered with blood. The entire bathroom doesn't get splattered with blood, but she's really disturbed by it, and it's such a creepy moment. I loved that. I loved that, tying it in with classic Pennywise lore. Always communicating with people through these drains. People often in Derry, they hear their loved ones through the drain, their loved ones who have been killed by it. They're tormented hearing their screams and their voices through the drains. This is a really common thing in the book. It's not seen as much in the movies, but yeah, this is extremely common in the book, and it's a way that it just constantly tortures the residents of Derry and also desensitizes them, because they constantly have to listen to the screaming and the voices from the drains. And yeah, so yeah, I loved that scene. That was one of my favorites in the episode. And this actress is doing a hell of a job. This young actress, Claire, what's her name? Clara Stack. Absolutely great job. Really enjoying her work so far on this series. I think she's doing an awesome job. And yeah, her screaming alone, yeah, top tier. Not easy to scream. It's not as easy as you might think as an actress to scream. She's doing a great job. Oh, and yeah, I almost forgot about this moment where actual fingers pop up through the drain too. Lovely. Very, very creepy stuff. Um, yeah, so easily one of my favorite scenes in the episode so far. Let's see. Let me check in with the chat before we continue. Um, let's see. Where did I leave off? Oh, yeah, Shadow said, I think his brother is Stanley's dad, probably. Yes, the older brother. I don't remember his name, but the older brother in the Uris family, I think is Stanley's dad. Yep. Um, And the little brother, of course, is, not the dad, because he's now, as far as we know, he's deceased. I think that's pretty much a done deal, unless I know some people are in disbelief and thinking that what happened at the end of the episode was a dream sequence, but I'm pretty sure it was real and they're actually dead, those kids. Samuel said Inside Man was my first R-rated movie. I was 6. Parents snuck me in. Oh, cool parents. My first R-rated movie, I was a goody two-shoes. I didn't see my first R-rated movie till I was in like uh 7th grade. My cousin showed it to me. I think it was Speed. Not even a one with nudity or anything. It just has like a million F-bombs. Anyway, let's see. Shadow said, I love that my kids love horror too. They watched this and it and watched From with me too. Wow, you got some cool kids. I loved scary stories from a young age, but I couldn't handle really intense ones till I got older. I could only watch Are You Afraid of the Dark, and even that gave me nightmares, but I loved it anyway. Christine said that shot of him standing at the locker foretells his future because of the drawing of him with the X eyes. Oh, the little Eurus boy. Yeah, I think there is a drawing of him with X eyes. Nice catch, Christine. Nice catch. I have to look at that again. But yeah, that's awesome. I did not pick up on that. Creepy foreshadowing. Let's see. Yes, Amy. Yes, what's his name? Dick, Dick Heroin? I can't remember his name.
Halloran.
Halloran?
Mm-hmm.
His name is weird. I can't remember that name. I've never heard of that name.
Hal or N?
Halloran. I'll think of Halloween, maybe. Halloween, Halloran,
Mm-hmm.
Halloran.
He's got the shinning.
The Shinning, yes. Look at the Shinning. I loved that parody. Anyway, yes, Dick Halloran. I'll get this eventually. I'll get this by next week. I'm gonna practice this nonstop until I get it for next time. Dick Halloran is the older guy from The Shining, yes. Who tells Danny he has The Shining. Um, yes, I think Amy, that alien photo could be representative of it, the comic, yes. Um, let's see, what else? Let me scroll down a bit. Yeah, Christine, I could use a turtle charm to protect me too. Samuel, I agree. I would never force my kid to go to a grave. Absolutely not. Or coerce them. Yeah, they can go when they're ready. I agree. Justin said, yeah, she's really good. I loved her thought process in this scene, her acting. Yes, right? Absolutely. A little finger action. Yeah. Yeah. A little finger action from the creepy drain fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fingering the hole, as it were.
Oh my God. Yeah. Justin said, yeah, Julie, so innocent, that first R-rated movie. Yeah, I was very innocent. Uh, I started watching R-rated movies in like 7th grade. I was like 12 years old, and my cousin showed me Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Speed. And I can't remember which was the first, but I'm pretty sure it was Speed. I'm almost positive. And that's pretty innocent. Yeah, that's pretty innocent. It's only rated R for F-bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Dick Heroin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't get the name right. What the hell's wrong with me? I'm sure there are homeless and junkies are that desperate looking for a vein. Oh God. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll get this name eventually. Hal Halloran. Halloran. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, uh, so Lily goes to school and she tells her friend about what happened to her. Of course, no one else is going to believe her regarding the voice in the drain. They go by and they see some uh little Miss Popular people over here. Of course, there are cliques here. And then they go into a stall in the bathroom and they talk more about it. And check this out. So some eagle-eyed fans noticed this. It's blurry, so it's very hard to see. But here on the bathroom stall is a name that says, I believe that says Alvin Marsh. That is Beverly Marsh's father's name with a heart around it. He is that piece of shit who abused his daughter.
So that butterfly.
Yeah, she's got a butterfly beret. I would wear that. So Beverly Marsh, she had the piece of shit father who was abusing her in the It movies and in the book. Her father's name is this guy right here. So at this time, maybe he was like, also an adolescent, or who knows what age he was at this time, but somebody was crushing on him back then and wrote his name on on a bathroom wall and drew a heart around it. One of the most despicable, vile, detestable characters in the entire It book, movie, whatever. And it's creepy to see his name there and know what a monster he would turn into, how he had abused Beverly, and someone was actually crushing on him, some poor deluded girl that didn't know any better. But I thought that was cool little Easter egg that they threw in there, and the fact that it was in a bathroom stall where we so often saw Beverly in the It movies as well. That was fitting. Anyway, I couldn't read this other stuff here, and I don't have a high definition enough image to actually see it, but as far as I know, that's the only thing of note in this picture. In these pictures, rather. Um, so anyway, so let's see. Let's continue. We've got we've got Lily meeting up with the boys here, and at the water tower. This is a place that she's not supposed to know about, and Will is pissed that she does know about it, apparently because Maddie showed her, and he wasn't supposed to. They showed Maddie, I guess, to, be nice to him, but this is their secret hideout. And so they met up there with Lily. She confides in them what happened, what she heard through the drain, and, so they kind of put their heads together on this, and I'm trying to remember. Carl,
Mm.
do you remember their reaction? Did they? I'm trying to remember how incredulous or credulous they were toward her.
Mm, wasn't didn't he not believe her? What's his name again?
Will.
Will. Didn't he like not believe her? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like, I think
Because they hadn't seen it yet, right?
no, they hadn't.
Yeah.
They hadn't, and yeah. So I don't think they were quick to believe her yet. Yeah. I'm tired, and my brain is kind of short circuiting.
Yeah,
Trying
me
to
too.
remember. But yeah, they were kind of arguing about it, and yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to remember. Help me out in the chat, guys, if you remember what exactly they said in response to that. But yeah, Justin, that was her dad. That was her dad's name on the bathroom stall. Creepy. Very creepy. Um, just call him Dick. Yeah, I should just call the guy Dick. Dick Halloran. But it just sounds weird. Just calling him Dick. It's a weird name to begin with. No. No, stick with heroin. That's I'll just call him Dick Heroin. Um, Christine said the kid who drew the alien had the shine too. Yeah, maybe he did. He seemed to really be tuned in with a lot of this stuff, and uh, he was so smart. I'm so pissed that they killed off Will, this kid here who loved aliens, and he was so spot on with what he was saying. He was questioning, why is there this military presence, all these planes, all these military planes showing up in Derry? What is going on? And yeah, like, you really think that we're alone in the universe? And um I like, obviously he was paranoid and a lot of his alien theories were nuts, but yeah, he was right about some of the stuff. He was on to something. And he's right about aliens being present. I mean, it is an alien after all. So, um, Christine said he drew the floating kids too. No shit, Christine? I'm gonna have to go back and look again at those pictures. See, the problem is, even if I do that though, my pictures are not high definition enough, and I don't have a big enough TV to really see those minute details. I'm trying to get a bigger TV soon, so I can really scrutinize. Like, by the time From season 4 comes out, you bet your ass I'm gonna have a big ass TV finally, so I can really look at those minute details. And anyway, but like, because if I looked at my pictures here and I tried to zoom in, I wouldn't be able to see very much. Well, that's interesting. So maybe he had the shine too. Like, he drew the floating kids. That's really interesting. Really interesting stuff. Um, but anyway, so let's continue. Try to get through this before too much later. Got an early day tomorrow. So we had a quick scene here where I believe this is a general, and he's apologizing to Leroy on behalf of that racist who wouldn't salute him. And he said that, basically the man had been disciplined, and I forget what they did, but they issued some kind of punishment, and said, like, they're not going to tolerate that kind of behavior. And that was great to see. Even though there are racist pieces of shit like that guy that Leroy had to deal with, at least the leadership here is not tolerating this kind of stuff happening. So, um, in real life, would it have gone that smoothly? Would he have been supported as much by his superiors? Who knows? But I was glad to see it. Um, and he basically told his superior officer um, that he's planning on moving his wife and I believe their child um, soon into Derry, and they're not going to live on the base. His wife is tired of living on military bases, and so they're going to get a house in town. And so soon they'll be joining him, and I believe they're going to be joining the cast very soon. And we'll see his wife and son. And his son would be Mike Hanlon's dad, because this is Mike's grandfather. And keep in mind, Mike is one of the losers from the kid group, the Losers Club in the movies. Mike is the kid from the farm, so that's the grandson of Leroy here. Really interesting to see the history and the backstory of Derry and some of the characters and their family trees. Then we have this scene with the Uris family, yet another family that's going back into the family tree of someone we know from the, the 2019 movie. I think the second movie was from 2019. So this is the Uris family again, and so this is, I believe this is Stanley Uris's dad, his older brother here, and so this guy would be Stanley's grandfather, and his dad, I think, becomes a rabbi. And yeah, so like this younger boy here is Stanley's uncle. Stanley is the Jewish boy who winds up, spoilers for the movie, he winds up unaliving himself, uh, because he can't handle, Stanley can't handle, like, joining the losers and going back to Derry, and he knows that they have to all do it together or they'll lose. So he takes himself out of the game. He just takes himself out, so that he doesn't drag them down. But yeah, now we get to go back into his family tree a little bit and see more of his family. And unfortunately, now we see, not only Stanley wind up becoming a victim of it in a way, but his uncle was once a victim of it, and he never something he never got to find out in his whole life. But yeah, this little kid is Stanley's uncle, and he doesn't make it out of this episode alive already. So he loves comic books too, by the way, and so he tries to tell his father, I guess, what had happened. The story. No, wait, no, I forget what was it he told his father. He said, he asked if a kid could survive living in the sewer for like a long time. If a kid had been kidnapped, could the kid like survive in the sewer or something? And because he's thinking about Maddie, like, could Lily be right? Could Lily's story be true? And Maddie really is living in the sewer or trapped in the sewer right now. And his father tells him a gruesome story about the Holocaust and how the German soldiers, I can't use the word on YouTube, but the specific type of German soldier used Jewish people's skin to make lampshades. And he said, our family members were victims of this because this is a Jewish family and this wasn't that long after the Holocaust, really. And, he tells that horrific story to this poor kid, and he holds up his comic book and just kind of like, throws it aside, like, basically, like, don't bother me with this fantasy stuff. Real life has enough horrors. Um, and incidentally, this Flash comic book is a really interesting edition of the Flash. I watched a little video that mentioned it, and I believe this was a special edition comic of the Flash that involved a multiverse.
It's the first time the multiverse was depicted in the DC world, DC comics.
Right. The first time that the multiverse was depicted in a DC comic. And now, of course, the multiverse is ubiquitous in comics. So this is a groundbreaking thing here. So that's cool. A cool little Easter egg here for comic fans, and it also pertains a bit to it in particular, because there's a sort of multiverse going on in a way in Stephen King's work. A lot of his works are within the same universe with each other. And so, like, for example, certain characters exist in multiple works of Stephen King, and the town of Derry exists in multiple Stephen King works. So yeah. Anyway, so then there's another little Easter egg, Clayface comic here. Detective Comics, and it says The Menace of Clayface. And so this little Eurus kid here, he's reading this comic showing Batman fighting this villain, Clayface. It says Batman and Robin, what does it say? Defy the menace of Clayface. And Clayface is a shapeshifter. It's a shapeshifter villain, which, again, it's fitting. It's another fitting little Easter egg, because what is it? A shapeshifter. It is a shapeshifter that can manifest into anything. So, yeah, it's another apropos little reference that they threw in here. Now, while he's in bed, it doesn't waste any time tormenting him using that gruesome story his father had just told him about the skin lamps. The lamp starts going on and off in his room, and then all of a sudden, it turns into this disgusting, horrific skin lamp with a face on it. It even has some curly hair attached to it, as if to suggest it's maybe his own hair or, someone he loves. Because his father had just been saying that they had family members who died in the Holocaust, and this is the kind of thing that could happen to victims of the Holocaust. It's horrible, and it preys on people's fears, and since it's targeting him right now, well, it uses this terrifying story that this is one of a number of really memorable, disturbing scenes in this episode. I gotta say, this show did not waste any time. It came out of the gate swinging already in terms of horror. Like, this really hit the ground running. His brother comes in, and everything is back to normal. Oh, here's a shot of downtown Derry. It says Bangor Chew, ribbon cut tobacco, the best flavor. Welcome to Derry there on the left. And then the camera pans back up to the water tower. And yeah, so then it's Lily meeting with the boys again. And so they plan on going to the library together and doing a little research, but they have to bring along Will's sweet little sister, who's kind of getting on their nerves and bugging them, of course. She's adorable. And she's bragging about how great her cursive is, and it's not so great at all. But they find so they use a microfilm machine, just something that's never really used anymore. It's an old form of technology. But yeah, they use this machine to look at an old newspaper, and it's the Derry Herald, and it shows Maddie having gone missing at the Capitol Theater, or last seen at the Capitol Theater. And they look through that to get a little more information. And yeah, so it says he was last seen by the daughter of a theater employee, an unidentified 12-year-old girl. Despite not being friends with Clements, that girl, a Derry resident, admitted to a brief, innocuous exchange between them before leaving the theater in a hurry. So that they get a little lead from that. So they're going to go talk to that. They figure out who that is. That's one of their classmates, Ronnie, who's the daughter of I think it's the owner of the theater, but I could be wrong. They go talk to Ronnie, and she doesn't really want to deal with them at first. But ultimately she does decide to help them. And see, look how the way they're assembled together here. They really look like this is going to be the new Losers Club. They look like a cohesive little group already. And the show really got us good on that. Really tricked us. It got me, that's for sure. These kids were even all on the promotional materials. And now 3 kids in this shot are all dead already at the end of episode 1. Well played, I gotta say. Well played in terms of surprise, the surprise factor. Protagonists of the story we're gonna be. This is not gonna be another rehash. This is not a rehash of the Losers Club. Anyone is fair game in this show. Anyone. No one is safe. So anyway, so they tell Ronnie that I think that Lily had heard the song from the Music Man. She had heard that coming from the drain, and that gives Ronnie an idea. So she plans on taking them to the theater and showing that movie from the Music Man for them. And then we cut to this scene here where we have Leroy Hanlon Mike Hanlon's grandfather, reading the Derry Herald, and it says, City Council presses forward with Paul Bunyan statue. Future home of Paul Bunyan monument. And that's the same statue we saw in the It movies, which came to life and chased, I believe, Richie. So that's cool. Little Easter egg for fans of the movie. And supposedly this town was the birthplace of Paul Bunyan. And this is a real, like, American staple, an American icon, Paul Bunyan. But it uses, it co-ops and takes over, you know, anything it wants and turns it into, and perverts it and turns it into something horrifying, like it did with the statue, terrifying Richie with that. And then down here it says Derry man killed in car crash. So there's always some kind of mayhem going on in Derry. Always death and destruction everywhere. We've got Leroy looking at a picture of him with his family, who we will soon meet. I think in episode 2, there's his wife and his son who will be following him to move to Derry. And I think his son is gonna kind of fill in where, some of the void where these kids who died left. At this point, we have these men in these suits with the masks on show up and attack Leroy, wanting the specs on the I think one of the planes. It was one of the planes that he brought in, that he flew in, and so they're fighting him for it, and he refuses to give it up. They pull a gun on him. He still refuses to give up any information on the plane. And then he's saved by his buddy, comes just in the nick of time. And yeah, those two take off. So what is this about? It's unclear. But I have heard that they could be part of a secret division of the military that has appeared in a couple different books by Stephen King. So it's unclear exactly, but they could potentially be part of a secret branch of the military, and that's why they're showing up wanting information. So I don't know. We'll see. This is there aren't a lot of clues right now as to what is going on with these guys and what they really want, and what this plane is so important for. So and then finally we get to the infamous ending scene. It says now playing The Devil at 4:00. Well, it very much is like the devil, as as some of you guys in the chat were saying earlier in this live. So that's kind of fitting. The kids show up to the theater, and Ronnie takes them in to show them a special screening of The Music Man to try to get some clues as to what could have happened to Maddie. I guess just a sort of Hail Mary play. I don't know what good they thought it might do, but they did. I mean, Lily did say she heard a song from The Music Man coming from the drain, along with Maddie's voice, and that's the movie Maddie was last watching before he disappeared and died. So, yeah, they go in and they watch the movie, and it's the same scene over again. We see a little bit of it played out with this con man guy talking, and there was this kind of funny moment where they were all feeling regret over the ways that they kind of failed Maddie, and they could have been friends to him. And they were all like pretending that they weren't crying. And then the lights came up, and literally all of them were crying, including Will, who said he wasn't crying. It was just a funny little moment. I'll miss this character. He was great. He was so like clever, and so there's in the projector scene, the Losers Club was watching an old projector, and Pennywise, I think somebody's mom turned into Pennywise on one of the slides, and then Pennywise comes popping out of the projector at them. And this is a little bit similar in that someone else starts kind of seeming a lot like Pennywise, and it's Maddie. It's none other than Maddie. They see him up on screen with that family who was in the car with him behind him. There's the mom, the sister, the dad, the brother. That's the family that supposedly picked him up in the car. And um and he's there holding a bundle as if it's this lady's baby, that mutant baby. Um and yeah, so they start talking to him and he can actually hear them. It's such a creepy moment. I absolutely loved that. Like, how the hell is. And yeah, none of them can believe it, of course, and they're all like yelling at him, trying to get his attention, and listens and starts moving forward, and then kind of like a Pennywise smile, actually. His face morphs into a little bit of a Pennywise look. I loved it. And yeah, the moment that the mutant baby busts out and flies around and attacks, it's what an electrifying way to end the episode, and the outcome's so unexpected. Uh yeah, they're all ducking and covering. The film catches fate. Did not see this ending coming at all, I have to say. This shocked the hell out of me. Um let's see. Uh and it's huge, by the way. The baby is now the size that it would be coming out of the movie. No longer the size of a baby. Look how gigantic it is next to the seats here. Um, and in the featurette, they talked a little about how difficult it was to produce this scene, and like there really wasn't anything there physically, that the kids had to run around, and they used something to kind of stand in for the baby and chase after them and pretend to be that. But yeah, um, amazing scene. Um, they're all hiding under the seats, and this little Eurus kid gets grabbed by the mutant baby and just thrown around and brutally killed. I couldn't believe it. Just taken out like that. His blood splattering all over Lily's face. Talk about a brutal way to go out. His blood splattering everywhere. Wow. I mean, this is dark. And then it gets worse. Um, that little girl who was Will's little sister was under the seat, and she gets taken out too. Although we didn't quite see it happen. It was all too quick. But I loved how this was done with red lighting too, by the way. This was cool. The red, it just made it so demonic, and yeah, just aesthetically cool to look at. But yeah, she gets snatched. Lily's screaming again. Amazing job by this actress. And Ronnie shows up with a hammer as if that was going to do any good. Oh, she's yeah. She just comes and finds the aftermath of all this, and Lily says they're gone. They're all gone. I couldn't believe it. They run out, and Ronnie's like, "What do you mean they're all gone?" You know, because Lily didn't specifically say they were all dead. She just said they're all gone, and then she holds up this fucking dismembered hand, dismembered bloody hand, and that pretty much answers her question for her. Yeah, they're all dead. Um, what an end to the episode. Lily just screams yet again. Amazing job. Amazing acting job. She did a lot of screaming in this one episode. And I mean, this just shows they're pulling out all the stops and nobody is safe. The stakes are high with this show, and this is setting the tone. Like, the episode ends with a bloodbath. Um, 3 more kids for a total of 4 kids killed in this one premiere episode, and it ends with this other kid screaming, covered in their blood. If this is setting the tone for the season, it's going to be a pretty brutal show. And I mean, as a horror fan, this is what you want. I mean, this is what it should be. So I can't fault it for that. I just wish they didn't make some of these kids so likable before they killed them. I guess that's the whole point. So yeah, they have to make you care about them. But otherwise, what's the point? The killings wouldn't have as much impact if you didn't care about them. Um. Anyway, so that's the wrap up of that episode. Now, I won't launch into um the preview for the season because not everybody wants to see that. So I'll just stop it there and just check in with the chat before I wrap this up. Um, let's see. Let's see. So, Christine said, I think it's more sci-fi than horror. I would say both. I would say it's a hybrid, sci-fi horror. It is an alien, and but the horror element I think is there in the killings, and you know the the psychological torment that it puts these people through. So I think it's a blend of both. Um, let's see. I'm going to rewatch it. Yeah. Amy, I watched it twice, and it definitely helps to rewatch it to get all the details. Thank you, Justin. It was 5 minutes ago, so I'm not sure what observation I made, but thank you. And that baby was movie size. It sure was. It's ginormous. Amy said this reminded me of the scene with it. Yes, yes, it chapter 1 or 2 with it in the film. Yep. It's reminiscent of the scene where Pennywise comes out of the screen when they're watching from the movie projector. Absolutely. Samuel said the little girl's death reminded me of Georgie. Right? Yeah, because Georgie was really little too. Absolutely. So it makes it worse. It makes it even more difficult to watch when they're that little. Yeah, when poor Georgie's arm got bitten off. Justin said, dark, taking dead baby jokes to the next level, right? My God. Yeah, seriously. It's it doesn't get darker than dead baby jokes and, you know, this bloody mutant baby. Yeah, this was pretty dark. Um, hey, welcome, Cyrex3656. Um, they said, loved the 2 young boys, gave me Richie and Eddie vibes. Sad they died so early on. Can't wait to see what's in store for episode 2, though. Great first episode. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. I loved the Richie and Eddie kind of vibes, and I was really disappointed that they died so early. But yeah, I think the show is definitely got promise, and I think uh I have to respect what they did. I have to respect why they killed off these characters, and that they're trying to put us on edge and let us know that we can't get too attached to anyone. No happy endings in this one. The stakes are much higher than they are in the movies. Justin said, that's awesome. Pennywise needs to get his kill count up with Chucky, Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers. Yeah. He's racking up a lot of kills now, that's for sure. Just this one episode. Trace, Halloween is almost here. Yeah. Great timing for a show like this, right? I love watching stuff like this time of year. Even if this show wasn't out, I'd be watching the It movies anyway. It's the kind of thing I like to watch every year around Halloween. And incidentally, the next episode of this series will drop early on Halloween at 3 a.m. Eastern time, Friday, early Friday morning, 3 a.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. Central, which is my time zone, and I will be streaming it. So that's Thursday night if you're staying up, if you're going to stay up and watch it, or I guess Friday morning if you're getting up really early, because technically it's morning, but it'll be early Friday morning at 3 a.m. Eastern in the Discord if you want to watch with us. I'll stream it when it drops. For me, sorry, I'm losing my voice. For me, it'll only be 2 a.m. because I'm on Central Time now. But yeah, if you want to join us, I will stream it right when it drops, and that'll be a good time. I think it's cool that they're dropping it early for Halloween, and I think they probably wanted to get this show released sooner so that more of it would air before Halloween during Halloween season, but I bet for whatever reason production was too slow and they couldn't get it released, or post production was too slow, so they couldn't get it released early enough. So now they're scrambling, like, all right, let's just drop another episode before Halloween really quick. Um, because they know like now people are going to be out of the whole Halloween mood and getting into like Christmassy stuff pretty soon. But it's still a good time of year. I still like watching scary stuff even after Halloween. But but yeah, they should have released this show like a month ago or even a month and a half. Really take advantage of the whole Halloween season. Amy, yeah, I was not expecting that many kids to die at once either. Seriously, that was shocking. Absolutely. Shadow said, with the book and its history, his body count is much more expansive than all of those other horror antagonists. Oh, I bet. I bet. I've got to get through the rest of the book, but yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I think in the book it's been around for 1 billion years or something, so that's a long time to rack up a lot of kills. Seriously. Shadow, bloody bad autocorrect and hitting enter too soon. Oh, no worries. I've got it. I can decipher it. No problem. And Shadow said, "Yep, per the book and his 27-year cycles, with all his cycles, his thousands upon thousands. Wow, that's mind-boggling, right? Oh my God. Yeah, he's got a pretty high body count for some. Yeah, I think he's been around like 1 or 2 billion years in the book. In the movie, I think it's a few hundred years, but yeah, he's either way. He'd have a high kill count. And every 27 years, he makes up for the fact that he's not around all the time. It's a bloodbath. Absolute bloodbath. I mean, just look at this thing. This demonic thing surrounded by flames. Now, before I sign off, I am going to just quickly scroll through my screenshots of the preview at the end of the episode. So if you don't want to see screenshots from the preview, this is your warning right now. It's a little preview for this, coming this season on Welcome to Derry. So just wanted to give you a heads up. I am going to show screenshots from that little preview. And there's nothing too crazy in it, but just be forewarned. I'm going to show those images before I sign off. Shadow said, "Yep, this is just a small part we see in the book. It's estimated 12,000 as a majority underestimated minimum." Damn, that is a lot. That is a lot, Shadow. Okay, so this season on Welcome to Derry. So I did the best I could getting screenshots, but bear with me because there were a lot of quick flashing images, so some of them are not going to be the best and easiest to make out, and I couldn't get everything. But so there's a girl, I think this is okay, this is Lily reaching out a hand, I think while she's dreaming, having some kind of nightmare. Or something weird's happening to her hand too. I don't know what the hell's going on with her hand. Then she wakes up and everything's normal. And there's another shot of Lily. There's the mutant baby. Let's see. I can't make out what this is about. Oh, someone is putting a record on. Looks like a mental institution. That looks like a hospital bed. Maybe. Either a mental institution or a hospital. And there's someone putting on a record. So I'm guessing mental institution. And they put that record on. It says this season on Welcome to Derry. The kids there's some kids at gym class. Some kids at gym class. This kid here is Mike Hanlon's dad. So we met Leroy Hanlon in this episode. He's the new military officer in Derry. And he said that he's bringing his wife and kid to town to live there. This is going to be his kid. So this is his kid. I don't remember his name yet at the moment, but yeah, that's Leroy Hanlon's son. Uh, and he will one day grow up to be Mike Hanlon's dad. We know Mike from the It movies, and yeah, he went on to, I think he was the librarian when they grew up. So anyway, so this is going to be a new character we're going to see probably by episode 2, I think. Then we have this shot of the kids exploring the sewers. And it looks to me like, is there anyone there who's already died? I'm not sure if that's a flashback. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's a flashback. Then there is Lily's friend. Something happened to her eye. There's Lily again with this creepy looking neighbor leering at her. You got a police officer. Let's see. Um, Ronnie and I think her dad, who works at the movie theater. They have a sweet relationship from the looks of it. And then there's this character we have yet to meet. And this soldier he's standing near with a gun. And there he is in some kind of weird tunnel with a red light. Then there's Lily, her friend, the blonde girl, and Ronnie holding some kind of a talisman of sorts from Native Americans. And that is something that it appeared in the book. There was Native American lore in it, and also in It Chapter 2, they used some kind of a ritual to try and get rid of it, to try and, eradicate it, but it didn't work. The ritual didn't work. So I'm not quite sure where this is going to go. I don't think it's going to be of much use to them, to be honest. But we'll see. See a Native American there. So yeah, this is definitely some kind of a Native American talisman, and it must be used to try to ward off it. Then, of course, there's the silhouette of Pennywise for a moment there. There's Leroy again, Leroy Hanlon and his superior officer. And more Leroy and his superior. Let's see. It's unclear what exactly this is. It looks like maybe some sort of alien material. There's some kind of a white pod looking thing buried in the ground. So maybe this is what the military presence is there for. There's some kind of alien presence that they're covering up or investigating, or both. And of course, here is Dick. Oh, I forgot the name again. Oh my God. Halloran. Dick Halloran. And he's going to definitely become a significant character going forward, but he has yet to have any lines as of the end of episode 1. There he is again, in a flying around in a plane, looking really ill, and probably having some kind of psychic vision because he has the shine. He has the shine, which gives him psychic powers, and he must be tuned into some, presence of it in some way. And then we have Pennywise the Clown finally materializing out of some dense fog. Really creepy, fun shot. Love it. I hope we get to see Pennywise really soon. We need to see the actual clown. He's the best, easily the best, most compelling, memorable form of it and the Deadlights. Then there's Lily riding her bike screaming. We've got Dick again looking over his shoulder ominously. And then there's Dick again seeing a bunch of kids and or other people floating down in the sewers somewhere. It's an enormous pile of them. So yeah, he'll be deep in the thick of things there. And Leroy again. And there's Dick Halloran again. And we've got some dirty hands. I'm not sure what that's about. Some people in a bunch of dense fog. Dick Halloran. And more Dick Halloran on a plane. There's a shot of Pennywise holding a balloon. His arm, that is. Now there's some duplicates here because I went back and tried to get as many more of these as I could as they were flashing on screen really quickly. Let me see. Is there anything I missed? Yep, more people floating in the fog, courtesy of the Deadlights, of course. And oh, there's the fire. Pennywise with a giant blaze behind him. And I'm thinking that's going to be a nightclub fire that happens in the book and is referenced in the movies as happening back in 1962 at a place called the Black Spot. So yeah, we'll see if that actually does come to pass. And then I'm not sure who this lady is, or this one. We haven't been introduced to that person yet. That's demonic as hell. Oh my God. There's a woman with a bullet hole in her forehead and white eyes, and she's got buck teeth like Pennywise. Really fucking disturbing. Oh my God. Yeah, so unclear what that's about. And then we've got someone chasing some weird figure chasing people through the woods. Lily screaming. Dick Halloran again, appearing to have some kind of psychic episode there. Anything else? Fog, crazy dense fog rolling in, covering the water tower and the rest of town. Pennywise looking demonic as fuck. Oh my God, with the glowing yellow eyes. surrounded by people walking out of the blaze. That is that. That's the end of the pictures from the preview. Oh my God. Have I been talking this whole time without being able to? You have got to be kidding me, Carl.
What?
I have been talking this whole time without pictures. How is that possible? How long has this been going on? Oh my God. How did that happen?
Mm.
Shit. How did that happen? Okay. I remember I closed it to warn people so that I wouldn't show people who didn't want to see the pictures. All right. I'll just go through really, really fast. Really quick, just a quick overview rather than like describe them all again. Damn it. All right. Yeah, so yeah, the hand I was talking about, something weird going on with Lily's hand. In this shot. There's something fucked up happening to her hand, and then in the next shot, it's normal again, where she's in bed. So I'll just blow past the ones that don't have anything that interesting. This looks like it's in some kind of a hospital, or like I think a mental hospital. It has a hospital bed and a guy putting a record on. And you've got this kid is Mike Hanlon's I've been doing this since the start of the preview. Oh my God, Justin. Jesus. You can tell I'm tired, huh? Oh my God. Since you started talking about the pictures. Oh, oh, Jesus Christ. Well, but you sound great. Well, thanks, Josh. We don't see anything, but you sound great. Well, thanks for finding something positive to say. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. This kid right here is gonna be Leroy's son. Leroy Hanlon's son. Leroy is the new military officer on base, the guy with the mustache. This is his son who's going to be moving to Derry with Leroy's wife, rather, his mom. And this kid will one day be the father of Mike Hanlon. Mike is the kid in the It movies. He's the kid who winds up becoming a librarian later. So, yeah, this, incidentally, that means this kid is the only one of the only people with plot armor. Because I mean, I could be wrong, but if he's the only child of Leroy, then he's got to be the father of Mike Hanlon, which means he's got to grow up and and have this kid. But who knows? Maybe Leroy has another kid somewhere. But as far as I know, this is the only one, and this would have to be Mike Hanlon's dad. Um, he's the son of Leroy Hanlon. Leroy is Mike's grandfather. Anyway, so he will be one of the new characters filling in the void where all those other kids just left. And we've got some kids exploring the tunnels. Okay, we'll just go through these quicker. There's Lily's friend with the eye injury, and Lily looking at this creeper next door. All kinds of creepers in this town. Seriously. Let's see. Ronnie talking to her dad, who seems to have a sweet relationship with her. This guy we have yet to meet looks Native American, I guess. There he is next to a soldier who's armed. There he is in a weird red lit tunnel. And so he's shown a bunch of times. That tells me he might be important. This is that weird tribal thing I was rambling on about. Some weird it's got some kind of runes on it. It's some artifact from a Native American tribe, and they're probably going to wind up using it or trying to use it against it. I doubt it's gonna work though, because it didn't work so well when Mike Hanlon tried it in the movies. Native American man there, and the creepy ass silhouette of Pennywise. I'd know that silhouette anywhere. I bet you that this is gonna be a popular Halloween costume again this year, as it should be. This would be a dope costume. Leroy meeting with his superior officer. They're looking at a board that says Dig Site 1. So what are they digging for? What is going on? What are they digging for? There's something up here. And this is a little clue as to what the deal is with all the military presence around Derry, this really small town. There's something fishy going on, and they're digging. Uh-oh, my computer battery's running low. I better hurry this up. So they're digging, and they see this weird white thing in the ground. It looks like some kind of a pod, maybe, like an alien pod, potentially. And there's Dick Halloran. Dick Halloran on a plane. Pennywise coming out of creepy fog. Lily screaming on her bike. Dick Halloran looking ominous. And apparently underground looking up at some kids floating in the deadlights. A gigantic, ginormous pile of kids floating. And just laying there in a heap, too. We got Leroy apparently talking to Dick Halloran. A bunch of people in creepy fog. Dick Halloran again. And yeah, some of these are, like I said before, duplicates, because I was trying my damnedest to get as many of these images as I could, because they flashed by so quickly. And yeah, so some of these people are floating in fog. That's a creepy scene. Really cool shot. And this is that blaze I was describing. Blazing fire, which is probably going to be at that nightclub, the Black Spot, if we're going to follow the book. And this woman we haven't met yet. This demonic ass woman, where is it? This demonic ass woman with the freaking bullet hole in her head and white eyes and buck teeth I was describing, that I thought you could see before, but here it is. So that's some nightmare fuel for you if you're on your way to bed. Sweet nightmares, guys. There she is. Looks a lot like Pennywise's smile, actually, with the teeth. Really disturbing. Then there's some freakish looking thing chasing some people through the woods. It's definitely some sort of weird Pennywise creature, I'm sure, chasing people. You've got Lily screaming at a pickle area. She's surrounded by pickles, of course, the poor thing. Her dad died at a pickle factory, and there she is screaming, surrounded by pickles. It's Dick Halloran again. Looks like he's underwater. Underwater, maybe in the gray water down in the sewer. So we know he'll be in the sewer from earlier in the preview. And yeah, he's having some kind of a shine episode there. Some sort of psychic vision. And crazy ass fog rolling in over Derry. Really awesome shot there. Another awesome shot. Demonic Pennywise with his eyes glowing orange against the flames. More nightmare fuel for you guys. You're welcome. And more nightmare fuel. This is the same thing I used as my background for tonight. Again, you're welcome for the nightmare fuel. And this is probably the blaze we're going to see most likely at that Black Spot nightclub. And that is the end of that. That is the end of the images. So, yeah. What do you mean she loves pickles? Pause. Yeah. Her dad died at a pickle factory, so Yeah. So yeah, she doesn't exactly love pickles, the poor thing. But she's surrounded by them in that shot that I showed you. So that preview of the rest of the season. So that preview, all these shots I was showing, they're not for episode 2. That would be one hell of an eventful episode. It's all a preview of season 1 overall. So we're in for an action-packed season for sure. And thanks, Justin. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good background choice. A little disturbing, I think, but I mean, hey, this is a disturbing, dark show, so I mean, it's pretty apropos, I think. Now this device is probably gonna die, so I'm gonna jump onto my phone to wrap this up on my phone before StreamYard. My laptop is gonna die, and then I'll leave Carl here alone on StreamYard. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna add me on my phone here. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, no camera. We're not doing camera here because I'm just gonna be wrapping up. All right. There. Okay. Um, all right. Yeah. Yeah, Justin, she was surrounded by the pickles. Yeah. If she grows up a slut in orgies, you'll know where the trauma came from. Right? Yeah. Surrounded by an enormous amount of pickles. So yeah, you never know. But yeah, her dad died in a tragic accident at a pickle factory. So it looks to me like in that scene, Pennywise or it is going to be torturing her by, surrounding her with, like, haunting her with massive amounts of jarred pickles. So, I mean, imagine she'll go to a grocery store and the entire place will be loaded with pickles. That's my prediction. Yeah, well, that's a good way to torture that poor kid. Yeah, let's go back up and I'll just grab any comments I missed here. Let's see. Shadow said, it is a cosmic and timeless being. The 27-year sleeps is just a blink of an eye to him. Just mind-boggling when you think about it, right? Amy said, I'm trying not to look at it. It's creepy. Yeah, right? Sorry if my background is a little disturbing to look at. I might have to change it. Yeah, not seeing those images. I goofed on that. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. But I'm glad I was able to at least go back and show you what the hell I was talking about that I thought I was showing you before. Amy, I haven't read the entire book yet either, so you don't have to have read the whole book to fully appreciate this series, believe me. I would highly recommend that you have seen both movies though, chapter 1 and chapter 2. If you haven't already, because this does take place in the same universe. This series is a prequel to those movies. So if you haven't seen both of them, definitely make sure you do. And the book it gives you some really interesting background and context for everything if you do choose to read it. I'm working on it right now and making my way slowly through it because it's a long ass book. It's long. Go on YouTube if you want an audiobook version, and you can find one on YouTube for free. Shadow said he crash landed to Earth way before humans even existed and slept until people were around because animals didn't have complex enough emotions to really properly feed on. Interesting stuff, Shadow. Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, I'm glad I'm glad that you know the book so well, Shadow, because you can be a great resource for us. It's going to take me some time to get through the entire book since it's so long, and I'm going to be really busy going forward, covering this show every week, also doing From Academy every week, and doing story time with Doug lives, and also resuming the From Rewatch soon. So yeah, you can, like, providing your insight here really helps a lot. So I appreciate it, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to get through the whole book. And this gives us some great info, some background to understand the context of all this a little bit more. Yeah, in prehistoric times. That's crazy. Wow. Let's see. Halloran. Did I mess up his name again? Oh God. I will get it, I swear. By the next live, I will have mastered it. I'm gonna practice it nonstop if I have to. Justin. Halloran. We're so far away. Yeah. Hey, maybe that'll help. I'll use that to I'll use that to try to drill that name into my head. Thank you for that, Justin. The little study device for myself. I'll try that. Shadow said there's supposed to be a lot more Native American history and characters in this series. Oh, cool. Yeah, because there's a lot of that stuff in the book, I've heard. So, yeah, they have the time now to delve a lot deeper into material from the book that they didn't have time to do in the movies and in the miniseries. Amy said I was a clown for Halloween when I was 4 or 5. Aw, it must have been cute. It's a popular costume for a little kid. Kindergarten. Aw, very cute. I bet that was precious. When I was that little, I forget what I dressed up as. Well, my favorite costume was a fairy princess when I was really little. So when I was like 4 years old, I was a fairy princess like 2 or 3 years in a row until the costume couldn't fit me anymore. I loved being a fairy princess with a little wand and a tiara. I was such a girly girl. Shadow said, I think I was Mickey Mouse in kindergarten. Nice. Aw, that's cute. Too bad you don't have pictures, Amy. I would like to see that. I might have pictures of me in Halloween costumes somewhere. We should all, like, if anyone has pictures of you trick-or-treating as a kid dressed up, in Halloween costumes, you should share them in the Discord. We could do a little picture share of our best Halloween costumes from childhood. I'll have to see if I can find any of mine. It sucks, having been a kid before digital cameras, because all of my childhood pictures from the 90s are in albums, but thankfully I just moved and unearthed everything I own, so I might actually be able to dredge up some pictures not too in a not too difficult manner, because I located where everything is, as you do when you're moving, and so I'm gonna pull some of my pictures out of storage and look through them one of these days. Yeah, it must be nice to grow up with digital cameras, and you don't have to worry about trying to find your pictures. They're all online. They're all stored somewhere, easy access, and instead of having to take pictures of pictures like I do all the time when I have old pictures from when I was a kid in the 90s. Anyway, Shadow said movies, TV, books, etc. don't give me nightmares. Gratefully, I watch horror as my comfort thing to calm my brain down. I have a lot of nightmares, but not about the spooky things I love. Well, that's awesome. That's so cool. Actually, those things don't give me nightmares either, believe it or not. I have no problem watching all kinds of horror stuff late at night, in the middle of the night, and I never get nightmares from that. I only get nightmares from horrible real life things that I've dealt with. I've dealt with enough terrible things in real life that no horror movie is gonna traumatize me that much. Anyway, Uh, Pickle Rick. Bill. Let's see. Amy said, Julie, I've seen all the movies, the old and new ones. Oh, good, good. Yeah, because you definitely need to have a good working knowledge of those things. The background image looks like some girl's future husband. Oh God, poor girl. Justin said maybe there is the audio version of the book, like the one you mentioned for Doug's story time. Well, there is an audiobook for it, and I found one for free on YouTube. There's a free one. So if you look it up on YouTube, you should be able to locate a free version of it. And if anyone has trouble finding it, you need help with it, I'll post a link to it in the Welcome to Derry channel in my Discord for anyone who is in need of a free audiobook link to the YouTube video. Because that's helping me try to get through it. And I don't really have enough time to sit down and read a book that's that long right now. Let's see. That's cute, Julie. Yeah, I wish I could find the picture of me in my fairy princess outfit, because I loved that thing. I was so sad when I couldn't fit into it anymore. Amy said Emily, she was Cinderella when she was 3, her first time going trick-or-treating. Oh, is that your daughter's name? Aw, cute, Amy. Let's see. Samuel said pirate, horned demon, devil, and ghost face. Oh, nice costumes. Like, good choices. I also liked being Minnie Mouse. Let's see. One year I dressed up as a Native American girl, cultural appropriation, but that's what people did back then, and now it's like, it's not PC. But there was that. But I liked dressing up as Minnie Mouse. One year I dressed up as Laura Ingalls Wilder because I was such a nerd. And nobody would have known who the hell I was, but I was obsessed with the Little House on the Prairie books in 4th grade, so I wanted to dress up as Laura Ingalls Wilder. So I just dressed up in a really old-fashioned long dress. Such a nerd. I also dressed up as a McDonald's, a large McDonald's fry one year. Oh. Yeah. I dressed up as a baby in 7th grade. That was the last year I dressed up. After that, I was too embarrassed. Let's see. What else? Oh, yeah, sorry that you had nightmares due to trauma, Shadow. Yeah, I can relate. Shadow, Mickey Mouse, Red Power Ranger, Black Power Ranger, Vampire every year for like 10 years. The Crow. Nice choices. Very cool. Amy, I found one on YouTube, only 1 to 3 chapters. Oh, there's more than that though, Amy. There's more than that. If you look, that's just part 1. There are more from the same series, the same channel. So I'll find links and I'll post them all in the Welcome to Derry channel in Discord. Hey, AA. AA said, I don't know if someone said this already, but the first episode of Welcome to Derry gave heavy Stranger Things vibes. Oh yeah, it absolutely did until it killed off most of the kids, and then that kind of killed the vibes. I was disappointed to see some of them go. Shadow said I've put like 10 hours into making my daughter's costume this year and a few for my son's, but his is a lot easier. He's going to be Abaddon from Haunted Hotel. My daughter's going to be Shelley. Oh, wow. That's awesome that you can make costumes. That's so cool that you can do that. We always had to buy them in my house. And let's see. Bill said Hamburglar, Grimace, and Freddy Krueger was my last. Oh, yeah. You ended with a badass one. I ended with a really goofy one, a giant baby as a 12-year-old when I was still trick-or-treating but embarrassed to be doing it. That was a very bad idea, but it was my mom's idea and I went with it. And it just made me more embarrassed. Let's see. Yeah, a McDonald's fry. It was really dumb. I think my best costume, my favorite was easily the fairy princess, but Minnie Mouse was a fun one too. Anyway, so Shadow said making costumes is fun and they end up a lot better quality than in store and a lot cheaper too. Trick-or-treating is fun. I love bringing the kids out. I love dressing up. Oh, that's cool. I used to love dressing up too. I enjoyed it. I kind of miss it, but yeah, the only time I ever dressed up as an adult was a really kind of half-assed Little Red Riding Hood costume. Just a little black dress with a Red Riding Hood sparkly cape that I bought online. But yeah, it was not much of a costume.
How long is the stream?
3.5 hours. So yeah, and we're done. We're done now. So anyway, I was just about to say our next stream is going to be tonight officially. Yeah, I think of it more like tomorrow, but it's really tonight, Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It'll be story time with Doug, and we're going to be covering pages 151 through 221 of Doug's novel, The Poor Player. So yeah, you can bring your questions or comments for him in the chat or call into the panel and talk to him directly. And I strongly encourage people to call into the panel, and he would love to hear from you. So that'll be tonight again at 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I think I may have screwed up the time when I said it the first time. I forget, but it's 10 p.m. Eastern. I get mixed up with the time difference because I'm in a different time zone now. So yeah, so that'll be Thursday night with Doug, and yeah, then Friday night will be From Academy with Doc, a special Halloween edition at 1 a.m. Eastern Time, following Real Cinema Therapy's live on her channel. So if anyone is into The Walking Dead, she's going to be doing a Halloween live and covering the beginning of the Walking Dead series. So check that out if you're into The Walking Dead, and support our friend Lori, Real Cinema Therapy. She's going to start her stream around 11 p.m. Eastern on Friday, following a watch party in her Discord. And then we'll have our live when she's done, which will be sometime around 1 a.m. Eastern with Doc. It'll be a special occult themed version of From Academy. So check out our From Academy channel for more information on that, and drop your theories and ideas there if you'd like. And yeah, as for Welcome to Derry, we'll have a special watch party for that at 2 a.m. Central, 3 a.m. Eastern Time on Halloween. That's early Halloween morning at 3 a.m. Eastern in the Discord if you want to join the watch party. We'll do a breakdown live, most likely Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern for that. But stay tuned on, for definite plans on when that's going to be. And of course, when episode 3 drops, which I think is still going to be Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, I'll also stream that in the Discord live when it drops too. And that's the lineup for the next few days. So we're back at it with the full schedule again. And it's a lot we're juggling right now, but it's gonna be fun. And hope to see you guys in the next couple of lives. And Amy said I've been a clown, cat, witch, zombie, and vampire. Nice choices. Yeah, the cat one must have been cute. I like that. Okay, so oh my god, Amy. When I was 6, I had a dream that I ate Grimace and the rest of the crew came after me to unalive me. Well, God, you did have horrible nightmares. Jesus Christ. Grimace from McDonald's, that is. That character, wow. Yeah, that's horrible. I mean, it's kind of, humorous, but if it's coming from trauma, then I'm sorry. That's not funny at all. And you were Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's cool. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, well, thank you, Justin. Please like and subscribe and join the Discord. Yes, please. That would be much appreciated. Please like the stream. That helps people find it. And I'm new to covering this show, so I can use all the help I can get trying to get the algorithm to bring people here so people can find me. Some new people, maybe. You never know. So trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. I wish 2,000 subscribers. Right now I'm at 1.94K. So yeah, like and subscribe. And if you're not subscribed, please do. And join the Discord. We have lots of fun watch parties. We're going to be doing those much more regularly again now that I'm settled and done moving. So hope to see you guys in the watch parties coming up, and I'll post the events in Discord and tag everybody. And thank you so much for hanging out and diving into this new show. It's always so fun to cover a new show, and yeah, I really appreciate that. Folks come out and chat about this stuff, because when I started the channel, I didn't know if anybody would want to talk about anything other than From. For the first few months, that's all we did was talk about From. So I love diving into new shows too. As much as I love From, there are other shows out there to talk about and discuss. And sometimes we need something new to talk about, new episodes. So I love it. So I really, really appreciate it every time I dive into a new show. It's always a little nerve-wracking, and I just thank you all so much for showing up and diving into yet another new series with me. Thank you so much. And good night to you too, Amy, and everybody else in the chat. Thank you so much again for being here. Good night, Justin. Love you too. Love all of you guys. Thank you so much. Good night, Shadow. Good restful night wishes to you too. And if I don't hear from any of you guys before Halloween, hope you enjoy it and have a safe and fun Halloween. But maybe I'll see you guys in the Discord or in another live before then, because we'll be back Thursday and Friday night again with more lives. And thank you, Shadow. Appreciate you all so much. And I'm going to see if I can leave with my little my outro. Yes, I can. I'm on my phone now. So, all right, guys, have a great day or great night, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Love you all.
Yeah. That's a theory creaking open, baby.
Yeah, welcome to the screen where the plot gets bent. Julie B deep dives, not just for content. She don't react, she dissects those threads from the lens, catching clues y'all missed when the credits end. What you know about freeze framing frames and while you blinking, she building an evidence drum. Got a notebook thicker than the lore itself, and a chat full of nerds with a mental health shelf. Yeah, she sees the glitch, peep the double cross. You just watching TV, she talk to the boss. Every theory and thesis, no throwaway guess. While y'all on season 1, she in season X. Said rewind and slow it, zoom in, enhance. Julie B caught the symbol in the window glance. While you tweeting what just happened like a clown, she already made a flow chart, color coded breakdown.
They don't die like us. They don't vibe like us. They binge and they bounce. We revive that trust. They skip intros, we every frame. You watch shows, we decode the game. They don't die like us. Nah, they don't die like us.
She cracked Severance before y'all knew it was deep. Predicted the Last of Us depths in her sleep. When the camera pans, she ain't blinking once. Catch a ghost in the glass, call it theory punch. Watch parties lit like apocalypse nights. Call-ins while they bringing alien rights.
Hey, Julie, I think the trees are spies. Well, I have a spreadsheet that confirms that, guys.
Zoom in, boom in, she moving through clues. Spinning Discord in the courtrooms, Lord of views. Got mods with receipts. Timestamps with heat. Every rewatch turns into a Reddit elite. You stuck on the surface, we beneath with maps. Cross-referencing lore with the rector's caps. If your fave show got secrets, don't be dumb. Julie got the chalkboard out in From's where it's from.
They don't dive like us. They don't vibe like us. They skim the edge. We inside that crust. They zone out, we zone into pain. You say plot twist, we say nope, chain. They don't dive like us. Nah, they don't dive like us.
What's that?
That ain't a blooper, that's a plot thread. You thought it was a shadow? She thought it was a coded message from season 3. And she's probably right. Step this way if your mind's unbent. Step that way if your theories pay rent. Say Julie B, deep dive queen. Now zoom, scroll, theorize, pull. Ain't no rabbit hole safe once she got the cloud.